Hello, everybody. I hope all of you are doing very well. There we go. Are we streaming? There we go. Hello, everybody. I hope all of you are doing very well. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. Happy Saturday morning. Yeah, my hair is doing whatever it wants to do. And I'm like, okay, hair, you can do whatever you want to do. I don't know what I'm doing. Wait, what am I doing? Wait. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing with my hair. I best leave it alone. I woke up and my hair is like, oh, I'm just going to lay this way. I'm like, all right, fine, do your thing. I think I'm way over this hairstyle. So that's the thing. So you can hear me and you can see me. Give me a thumbs up, everybody. Good morning, and happy Saturday morning. Let's see. Let's take it from the top. Pauline, good morning. I love to see Pauline. She's always right there on the top. First, Inabug, Afrohuman, Debbie Bagley, Gypsy Girl, Susie Q, uh, Sherilyn, yeah. Sherilyn and Susie Q are experiencing similar situations, but wait, she was not well for a long time. I know the family is sad, but also relieved she's not suffering anymore. She asked for DNR and they honored her wishes. Thank you for asking, though. Wait, wait. I have to just listen mostly today. I'm getting ready for calling hours for my sister. Oh my goodness. My condolences, y'all. Okay. Araceli, hello. Hi, Araceli. Yeah, life is hard. We play the best game, based on the hand that we're dealt, right? So, yeah. No, but, there's a reason why sometimes we don't get to say goodbye to our loved ones when they're passing, like how Susie Q says. It's very, very, we may think, oh my God, they are disappointed in us and this and that. But, unless you choose not to go for the funeral or not go to say goodbye, there's a reason why the universe is not allowing you to say goodbye, so that's something y'all think about when y'all have a moment, right? Because we typically blame ourselves and we say regret and I hope she forgives, like how Susie Q says, or I hope he forgives or whatever. But think about why you are unable to go, like why, unless of course you choose not to. So think about that. You'll get your answers. Yeah. Yeah. Inabag, hello. Araceli, Texas Patriot, as always, thank you for being here. My Manx 100, Creed Design, Delvin H, Leslie Bonito, Auntie, I'm sure Verde, you know, sometimes y'all. All right, let's get started with this. So yesterday I was talking about how many of y'all, Renona, good morning, Renona. How many of y'all got a chance to go and watch that video I made for Serial Killer Saturday? Like, did y'all get a chance to actually go and look at it and see, like, how many of y'all got a chance? Cuba Lakeland, hey. Kathleen Cheney, hey, girl. 24 hours with my dad, and I was 10 minutes away, and he was gone. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to say bye to my dad either when he passed. But my mom, I was holding her hand, and I'm an only child. So let me assure you, I did feel for the longest time, I was like, as an only child, it would be nice to. But my mom was there with my dad when he passed. So it was a little difficult, but I had to sit and think about it. And the clarity I got helped me better understand why I wasn't there when he actually passed. So, it's very, very interesting. And I also have to say, like, what is this thing? Yeah, these things, I have to say, it was very, very interesting. It was very eye opening coming to those realizations as to, you know, I did visit with him before he passed. I mean, after he got ill, but when he passed, I wasn't there. So maybe he didn't want me to remember him that way. There was a lot of things. I'm not going to share all of that, but there were a lot of things that went through my mind, and I finally kind of understood the whys and wherefores. It's the weirdest thing, sometimes we end up being there to hold a stranger's hand when they pass, but which has happened to me, and I was not there to hold my dad's hand when he passed. It makes you think, right? Why? So we'll leave it at that. We'll visit that some other time. So I still have got to finish it later. Okay, no, I didn't watch it. It's very interesting. Yeah, yeah, it was just horrible. Now, on that note, let's talk about this for a second. Right? Sometimes they wait because I think they don't want their family there. But sometimes they wait until certain people come. But yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, oh, Debbie, my condolences. Your uncle passed away yesterday. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're very blessed, Julianne. Very blessed. Yeah, I was holding my mother's hand. I actually saw her take her last couple of breaths and her last breath. And the funny thing is, when they say the death rattle and all that stuff, right? They talk about all that. Okay, hang on. Let me get past my head today. It's like, leave it alone. Leave it alone. It's a mess, but leave it alone. Okay, I'm over my head. When they talk about the death rattle and all those things, well, my mom was at home. We brought her home because she refused to die in the hospital. She knew she was going to go. She absolutely refused. She said, you better. And she created such a ruckus, like for somebody who would come to pass a week later, literally a week later. We brought her home on Friday, and the following Thursday afternoon, 12:45, 12:50, she passed in the afternoon. So she was like, and we actually didn't want to bring her home. And the doctor was like, look, you leave her, we'll take care of her. It wasn't a hospice, it was a proper hospital. And, we'll do what we need to. And she was so adamant. So we kind of fibbed to her a little bit. My kids were there too with me, and we kind of fibbed to her. We said, yeah, Ma, they're processing your discharge and all that. And she got mad at us. She said, who do you think you're hoodwinking over here? You can't pull the wool over my eyes. It doesn't take 4 hours to get the discharge papers. No, Ma, the doctor hasn't come. No, go. What do you mean the doctor hasn't come? This is a hospital. You mean there's only one doctor here? Go get it done, or I'm going to walk out of here. I mean, she was like so adamant. And she actually, at one point in time, she started yelling, and she was yelling for the nurse. And so they came by, and they were like, I won't say my mom's name, it's okay. What do you want? What do you need? And she's like, y'all better get off your. She actually told them to get off their bums and go get the doctor on call and get the doctor and make sure that I get discharged. And so she was like, oh my God, she was so mad. And then they said, okay, they got her food or something to eat. Of course, she wasn't eating solids, but she was like, I'm not eating anything. And she said, I am not going to die in this hospital bed. I'm going to go home and I'm going to die in my own bed. She was very, very, very particular. So we did. We did. And of course, I had 24 hours like a nursing care, and, all of that. And I had two assistants at home. I was there, and we had this nurse. She basically lived with us 24, slept in the bedroom. So we had mom, her medical, like the nurse was sleeping like on a bed on the side, and on this side I had two other people. So we had put up little sleeping bags and stuff, to assist. And I was sleeping in the living room, and where I was sleeping I could see straight into her bedroom. So I was sleeping on the couch, and I had, like, she was not alone when she passed. She was not alone when she took her last breath. Um, but I don't want to take away too much from the class today, but since I delved into it, let me get into it. I held her hand. We gave her a sponge bath in the morning. I asked her what she wanted, and she said, I want tea. And tea, her favorite tea is the cardamom flavored tea, like the way, it's not the one in the bag, it's proper tea leaves, and you go through the process and you steep it and do all that. And she said she didn't want sugar because she was diabetic, and she was reminding me, she goes, and her speech wasn't as fluid as I'm speaking, but in her own way, she was like, don't put sugar, don't put sugar. And I said, yes, ma, I know you're diabetic, I won't put sugar. And so I got her a cup of tea, and we tried to get her to, sip, propped her up on a couple of pillows, and she didn't take much because you could tell she was having a little bit of a problem swallowing it. And the nurse was saying, we got to be careful because, we were hearing the death rattle for a couple, 2-3 days before that. And she said sometimes they tend to choke because they can't, death rattle is nothing but the saliva that collects in the throat, and they're unable to swallow it. And so it makes that weird noise. That's what I was told. So she goes, we've got to make sure that she doesn't choke and all that stuff. So we were all ready and prepared in case she kind of sputters or something. She barely had like 2 or 3 sips, and we kind of knew she was going to go. Like, we kind of knew. So that was her. So my dad, when he passed, he had a clot, what do you call, a stroke. And he had temperature for a couple of weeks, and he refused to go to see the doctor because he was like, oh, what are they going to give me? They're going to give me the usual stuff. And my mom kept telling him, you better go, you better go. And he was like, you keep quiet, woman, don't tell me what I should do, the usual, your old school couples, right? And she kept saying, no, you better go to the doctor, this is not looking too good. Well, on that day, in the morning, like, I had spoken to him, I said, Dad, what is your problem? Why can't you just go to the doctor's office? You've been having this temperature and it's not looking too right. And he was walking about and doing all that, but just feeling tired. And so finally that morning, we were supposed to take him to the doctor's office. Well, he wakes up in the morning to get ready, right? So he got up from bed, he put his feet down, and he tried to stand up, and he fell over. So immediately they rushed him, and they did whatever they had to. Come to find out, he had a clot. So they gave him all that thinners and this and that and whatever, and his speech was slurred. He couldn't move his, was it his right hand or left hand? I don't remember. No, he's a lefty. So his right hand, he couldn't kind of move around and all that. And then, immediately therapy and this, that, and the other. He was able to actually speak a little bit slow, and I was able to talk to him. People would call him on the phone, and he'd say, give me the phone, and he'd talk to him. Ultimately, he died. That was in October 2014. He died the following year, January on 24th, and he died because of pneumonia, because he got pneumonia twice. So he was at home, and complications of pneumonia. So anyway, he went through all that thing, whatever. They brought him home. He was at home. Same thing. I am not going to die in a hospital bed. And he was laying down on the couch watching TV, and my mom said, she tried to stay up as long as she could that night, and she said, I'm just too tired, I'm just going to go to bed. And he basically told her, yeah, you go to bed. His speech was not 100%, a little slurred, and he was able to kind of walk, but with a lot of effort, with the walker and all that stuff, dragging his leg. I mean, he wasn't 100%. And so she propped him up, gave him everything and all that stuff, the remote control, the cup of water, and a little bell. Literally a bell. If you need anything, ring the bell, or if the bell topples over, at least I'll wake up, type of thing. And so he was watching TV. He dozed in and dozed out, apparently. She said, I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and he was watching TV, and she basically told him to go to bed, and he just smiled at her. So the next day morning, mom gets up as usual, brush her teeth, whatever. She comes out of the bedroom, and she's walking by and at the living room, and to go to the kitchen, and she says, I'm making tea, do you want some? And he nodded his head, and then she said, for some reason I kind of stopped, and I kind of took a step back, and I looked at him, and I go, are you doing okay? And he smiled. Apparently he smiled at her, and he said, bye, I'm going, bye. He basically told her, bye, I am going, bye. And she says, I was puzzled. I don't know what the heck he was talking about. Maybe he had stayed up all night and he was incoherent. So she went to the kitchen, she made tea, she brought back the tea, and he was gone. Isn't that weird? So I have a feeling he knew. Of course, my mom and I had a lot. He died in 2014, January 24, and my mom died November 2018, November 8th. So I do believe mom and I had a lot of conversations. She says, I think he was telling me that he's going to take his last breath. So basically he told her. Isn't that weird how all that works out? So that's my story. We had to start off on that today. Okay, so it's very, very interesting, all these things, right? And then to think about that crazy psycho nurse who killed all the 60 babies. Remember, think about it. The last person the baby had contact with is a complete stranger who ended up being their murderer. Isn't that terrible? Who's Michael? Michael Doherty. Hey, Michael. You're new here? Well, if you are, welcome to the real family, that sort of a thing. Y'all, I said yesterday that I was going to see if I can get the contact information of this person, right? I could not find it because I've had this for a long, long time. I am so sorry. I'm going to continue to research, and if I find, because this person was a very nice individual. If I find his information, because he makes it himself, I'm going to put it like in the description box, and I'll tell you the story behind this. So I ordered it online and I got it, and it's actually not a perfect set. This is not a perfect set, and I was so upset. It is so weird. I was really upset, like unusually so, because I don't know why though. I don't know why, because mine are not the exact same length, okay, and they should be the same length. So I was very upset and I was so disappointed, and I tried to use it and then I couldn't connect with it, and I was like, oh, it's probably because it's a faulty pair. I was just being very, very sensitive. So I wrote to him and I said, hey man, it's not the right size. I mean, it's like significantly longer on one side. So he said, well, it's just copper. You can cut it off and then stick the cap back on. And that pissed me off for some reason. It really did piss me off. So I was like, well, if I wanted to buy something and cut it off, I may as well not have bought it. The reason I bought it from you is because it is pre-made and I don't have the time or the patience to sit and do all that stuff. So I did send him that in the email. I actually said exactly what I said. And I was really upset. It's very, we all, when we pay money, we want value for our money. We're paying good money, so why shouldn't I get a good item, right? So that part of it, yeah, I understand. But in hindsight, I wonder why I was so upset. I really couldn't tell you. But anywho, and he offered to kind of send it back. I said, look, here's the thing. I will send this back, okay? I will ship this back to you. I'm not saying this to, for you to give me a freebie. I actually kept them side by side. I had a measuring tape. I put pictures. Believe it or not, I took pictures and I emailed it to him. I said, I'm not fibbing, trying to weasel a freebie out of you. So I'll be more than happy to send you this, and you can send me a fresh set. So he said, no, you can just go ahead and keep it. And I didn't want to do that because I felt like, he didn't purposefully send me a faulty pair. He didn't, I don't think, right? So I thought about it. I said, you know what, never mind. And he said he was going to refund the money or whatever. I said, just let it be. That's okay. But I did write a review and I did express myself. And I don't know why I was being so, I don't know why. But so then I was like, okay, to heck with this. And I didn't use it for a while. I didn't. So one day I was meddling around and I said, you know what, let me take this and let me, I really miss my divining rods, let me get this. I have another one, which each of the divining rods is this thick. So it's fairly thick and it's shorter. It's actually this long, like from here to here. It's literally a foot long. This is a little more than that. And I really like it. And that is full on copper, well, solid copper. And even the handle is like thick. I was like, yeah, I know where it is. I just can't get to it right now. It's in a different country. So I was missing it. And I said, okay, let me take this out and use it. And the first couple of weeks I used it, I was so annoyed because I know how to use divining rods. I've used them in the past, and I'm like, why the heck is this thing not working? Went through the same process of cleansing, meditating, yada yada, doing all that stuff, used it again, nothing. So I completely shelved it and I put it away, and I was looking on the internet to be able to buy another one. So I remember Mark saying, why don't you just make your own? I said, I am not going to do that, honey. I don't have. He said, here, let me make it for you. Let me tell you. I said, no. And then one day I grabbed them and I said, okay, I had a conversation with my divining rods. Y'all would probably think I'm cuckoo, but I take it or leave it. I had a conversation with my divining rods and I said, I need to know if you're going to work for me or not. And if you're not, what is the reason? And I cleaned them with a soft cloth, no water. Okay, as you can tell, they got some scuffs over here. I don't know if you can tell. Well, you probably can't. They got some scuffies over there because I have used them. You probably can't tell. And I said, okay, I cleaned them. I lit a candle. I saged them. And I did do my little meditation and my little prayer. And I picked them up. And y'all, right off the bat, I was able to use it and it worked. So maybe because my energy when I bought it, the fact that it was, in my opinion, it was not the same length and I was mad and whatever. So the rods are like, screw this girl. I'm not going to work with her. She's going to be mad at me. So, so that's been my experience. Like I've said time and time again, all these are divinatory tools, okay? Be it your shells, be it cards, be it divining rods, be it the Ouija board, be it whatever you. They are tools. If you know how to use them and you use them right, you are always going to be protected. But if you go around, yeah, you will get into trouble. Be it Ouija board or be it shells or be it tarot cards or be it divining rods or be it the pendulum or whatever. You will get in trouble. So be smart, know how to use them right and use them right. Always use them with the right intentions. That's the most important thing. So there we go. How do you make your own? I'm not looking at the chat right now. How do you make your own divining rods? There are a lot of people who sell them. I prefer to buy copper ones, okay? There are a lot of people who, and I have used it, the branches from a tree or twigs or whatever that are Y-shaped. People say it has to be a particular kind of wood or this or that or whatever. That it all depends on which school of thought you think about or you follow. So what I say is, if you have ever given clothes to a dry cleaner, the hangers that they get, the horrible trashy hangers, right? They are a single-use hanger. You can use those hangers to make a divining rod. It is very simple. That metal is very pliable. You don't need big scissors and this and that and cutting pliers and all that. You can just manipulate them with your hand because they're so skinny and they're so pliable. I'm not going to show you how to actually do it. Common sense, play around with it. It's it's very easy how to use it because it's basically an L. That's basically what it is. But for the handle, if you feel the handle is too flimsy, then the second half of the hanger, you can just twist it around and double it up or back it up, right? So folding it back, so that way you'll have a little bit more strength over here. One thing I would advise is make sure when you do this, can you see this little, here, this little thing here? There's a little bit of a gap because see how it fits? When it moves, you want to make sure it moves freely and it is not in any way, shape or form going to obstruct. So your fist, your hand, when you hold it, it should be free on both ends, at the bottom and at the top. Okay, that's the only thing. Second thing is, if you don't even dry clean, just go to a dry cleaner store and say, hey, I just need a couple of hangers, something, and whatever, used hangers, they just chuck it over there. Grab a couple and go try it at home. Okay, all right, so we got that done. How do we do it? Preferably copper. Second thing, how do you initiate? Like I said, every single divinatory tool, first and foremost, you have to connect with it. Secondly, the little story I shared with y'all, not story, the truth, the fact that I shared with y'all, goes to tell you if you don't connect with it, then it's not going to work for you. If you go at it with a different intention, with a ratchety intention, your tools will not work for you. I've experienced that time and time and again. There are some times when my pendulum doesn't work for me. And either it's because it's tired, I've completely depleted it of its energy, or it just needs a rest. Sometimes my cards, certain cards, they just don't work for me. I have to set them down for a little bit, go through the process of recharging them, etc., and using them again. All right, so that's that. So you go through whatever process you go through to connect with this, the initiation, if you will, right? What do? You cleanse, you light a candle, you say your prayer, you bless it, you sage it, whatever you do. I think we've discussed this numerous times as to how to go about doing that. You go through all that process, okay? Every person who uses a pendulum, divination rod, they have their own methods and methodologies. I'm not going to say one is better than the other or whatever works for you. Some say that, when you hold the rods like this, and if it goes outwards like this, that means it's a yes. Some say no, that means it's a no. But when it comes together, it's a yes, or when it crosses over, it's a yes, whatever. So that is something that you will have to play around with when you are using your rods. So it is like, how they say you buy a new pair of shoes and you got to break it in, right? Otherwise you're going to get shoe bites, and those are very uncomfortable. You're going to bleed, you're going to be sore, you're going to be mad, you're going to want to throw away that expensive pair of shoes, and it's a hot mess. And you're going to put it on the shoe rack and not use it forever and a day. So make sure you break it in. The breaking in part of it is where you set your intentions, where you tell the pendulum how do you want it to answer to you, right? No can mean no, O-N can mean on. It's the same two alphabets, right? Or letters. So what context do you want to use it? How do you want to use it? How do you want to set it up? So very particularly when you ask a question, try it at home. Try it at home, right? Ask a question. You kept your keys somewhere, or have your partner, whoever, your child. Because here's another thing. If you go purposefully hide your key and then you come and sit and do your pendulum, then you can think, like, subconsciously your mind knows where the keys are hidden. So clearly when you physically go there, the pendulum is going to show you that that's where the key is, right? That's the scientific way of looking at it and scientific explanation. So tell your somebody, whoever, right? Go hide a set of keys somewhere in the house. Whatever, a lipstick, a key, or whatever, right? And tell them not to tell you where it is. And walk around with your divining rods. Now, as you are walking around with your divining rods, or even before you walk, you set your intentions. For you, what does it mean? For you, if it goes this way, it is a definite yes. If it goes this way, that means you're moving away from it. Or complete vice versa. For you, if it's like this, that means it's a no. And if it goes away like this, it's a yes. So you put that coding into your divination rods. Okay? For me, this is absolute, and for me, it actually goes around. Oops, before I smack myself, because these are long rods. That's why you don't have them so long. You don't need them so long, because you hold it, and then if it goes around like that, it's very high energy. For me, that means the energy is like super, super strong there. So there you go. Case in point, there is no need for it to be this long. Absolutely no need. Right? Just about a foot is more than enough. Yeah, just about a foot is more than enough. So you set your intentions, you code it, you put in the code, right? It's like opening your cell phone. What code do you have for it? Or your fingerprint or whatever. So you set your code for your divining rods and say, when it goes like this, that means I'm moving away from it. Or when it comes like this, that means it's moving away. Or for me, the complete opposite, right? If it comes like this, that means you're spot on. You're exactly there. This is a yes. And this is an absolute no. And when it swings around, it means like, oh, you completely lost it. Or when it swings around at 360 degrees, that means the energy is super strong. So I cannot tell you, you have to decide which one of these is going to work for you, combinations, right? So once you do that, the best way to learn about, get a hang of divination rods is literally that, right? Start off like you do any divination, right? Your cards or whatever. I have my process. I light a candle, I sage, I do my little meditation. I have certain things that I do over here, right? Which I'm not going to share with everybody because it's nobody's business. and I start doing my tarot card reading. So the same process I have for my divination too, and then go about doing it. So experiment, experiment, experiment. Now, one thing I will tell you about divination rods, a lot of people freak out and they go, oh my God, it's going 360 degrees. Oh my God, whatever. Listen, why do you have to get scared? I've had people write to me and go, I will never touch divination rods. The energy was so strong. It was going round and round and round. And I got scared and I flipped out and I stopped and I threw it away. What are you scared of? See, those are the people who I say, what's a word I can use for them? Wait, let me think about the right word. It's like, a group of women getting together. Remember the good old days, they used to have this thing called the kitty party, where the women would get together and have a party and basically, whine and bitch about everything and basically waste of time. They did nothing but whine and gripe and etc. So if you are one of those type of people who's trying all this just for the heck of it and just for, fun of it, oh, I'm gonna try it, and then the next thing they'll post it on Facebook and say, oh, FYI everybody, now I know how to use a divination rod or the divining rods. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm being really, really bitch right now, using that tone of voice, but don't ask me why, but I did. You know how you have those people who want to make like they are real tarot readers? They are the fakers. Heck, the fakers. Let's call them what they are. If you are going to pick up divining rods and think you are going to go there and you are going, listen, first and foremost, divination is not for everybody. I'm not saying that to make myself feel important, but it is a fact. Anybody worth their salt will tell you that. Divination is not for everybody. Not everybody has it in them. You can teach yourself how to play a good game of poker, but does that mean you're always going to win at the Las Vegas poker tournament, your multi-million dollars? Not necessarily, because at some point in time, the cracks are going to show up, and it's going to show that you really don't know how to play the game, right? So for those of y'all who are doing this just for fun and, oh, you know what, just to make, Texas Patriot knows what I'm talking about. For you fakers, if you want to pick up a set of divination rods and go and act like you could know what you're doing and do it, do not be surprised if you open the channels for something that shouldn't be there. Absolutely. Don't be surprised. And that's your problem and that's your fault. You made that bed, you sleep in it. Don't tell me I didn't tell you so. Any divination, for example, any divination too. Now I'm going to say one more thing that's going to be very, very controversial, and I know a lot of people are going to be upset, or rather they'll be like, Pauline. Oh, thank you, Pauline. Yeah, my mom died in 2018, so it was a while ago. What, 4 years coming up now? Anyway, so one thing I'll tell you, as far as this is concerned, I was going to say about the Ouija board. Listen, guys, I will say it now, I'll say it tomorrow, I'll say it 10 years later. I used to say it 20 years ago. I've always maintained that the Ouija board is a tool. I will always say it. Do I have one? No, I don't. I used to. It is there with my other set of divining rods in another country. Do I use the Ouija board often? No, I don't. Have I used it? Yeah, I have. Have I gotten the answers to my questions? Absolutely. Did I open the doors to evil? No. Did evil enter? No. Did negative energy enter? No. Because I know what the heck I'm doing. I know what the heck I'm doing. I take the necessary precautions. First and foremost, protect you. I've said this time and time and again. Protect your energy field. Protect your energy field. You have to know what you're doing. You go off and you say, oh, all of you are sitting there having your cup of wine, boxed wine, and the cookies, and what kind of cookies, wink, wink, and all that stuff. And oh, let's take out the Ouija board and let's play with it. Look, serves you dang right. Right? Because it is a tool. You give a surgical knife to a surgeon, he or she will know how to use that dang knife. You give that same surgical knife to some ding-dong, ding-along, he's going to cut up people the wrong way on himself. It's as simple as that. So use common sense. But don't be afraid. And you shouldn't be afraid. You wouldn't be afraid if you know exactly what you're wanting to do, what you want to accomplish, how to go about accomplishing it, how you need to prepare yourself, understand there's a learning curve, take the necessary steps, pass the examinations. You're not going to go from pre-K to 10th grade like that. You have to go through all the other grades in between. So learn, have an open mind. That's the most important thing. But when you go into these things with a fearful mind, oh my God, I don't know, I'm afraid, I don't want to use that because I'm afraid, I don't know what energy I'm at. Well, you've shown weakness. So when you show weakness, you are going to be taken advantage of. Common sense, right? So please, please don't be afraid. If you go at it from the perspective of I'm afraid, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, you shouldn't be doing it. Okay? So enough of me gabbing. So set your intention. So you write the DNA code. I mean, not DNA. You write the coding for this set of tools, right? You write it. How do you want it to answer? If it does this, does it mean yes? Or if it does this, does it mean no for you? Right? If it does this, does it mean yes? Or if it does this, does it mean no for you? If it does this, that means you're walking away from it. If it does, you know what I mean? So you set the code for it, okay? So you've done. Now, where do you take it from here? What can you use this particular thing for? Any number of things. It's a divination tool. You lost a set of keys. You lost a pendant. You want to go divine for water. Yeah, that's a whole different level though. You want to go do divining for water. That's basically what it was used for way back when, because and there's a reason why they use copper too, because for the magnetic whatever, I won't get into the science of it or geology for that matter even, you could sense the magnetic forces. It would pull you and pull the rods in a particular direction, and you could tell if there was a water source there or not. And based upon the intensity of the pull, if you will, you could tell how deep the water was, or if it was just a vein, or if it was just like a little stream, or if it was going to give you a really good strong source of water, because it could be just a temporary thing, but there's heavy rain somewhere and there's a little trickle here, and that could die out in summertime. Or is this something that is very resourceful in the sense that infinite amount of water forever and a day, and then you can dig in your well and you'll always have water source there. So that was what divining rods were basically for a long period of time used. Divining rods were also used to figure out when you go quarrying for gemstones, right? You can find gemstones because they are all mineral deposits. You would find large concentrations of gemstones as well, right? Or gold or what have you. They used to use divining rods for that too. Now on the other end of the spectrum, hang on, let me just look at, so there's a lot of messages here. Okay, so I'm not reading that. Okay, hang on. Yeah, and it's okay, to fess up and saying, I'm not, at the moment, I'm not strong enough to do this, or I've not learned enough to do this, and that's a fantastic thing. At least you're honest with yourself, Araceli, and that's very commendable. A lot of people, they choose to ignore that. They'll be like, oh, I can do it. It's so easy. You just get a hanger from the dry cleaning store, and you go like, oh, come on, girl, I can do it. Let's go. Oh, I have to laugh. I've actually met people like that, and I'm like, oh, okay, honey bunches. Awards, have at it. Go enjoy yourself. I'm going to stand back and be entertained by your stupidity. I've actually had that happen, and I'll tell you where, in Key West, Florida, Key West. So they have the usual ghost tours and all that stuff. And one time I told Mark, I said, let's go, Mark. It's fine. He's like, why do you want to go? And I said, I'm just curious to know. We had done our own tour. We've been going to Key West for years and years. So we know the spots. We don't go on tour guides and all. We just go, we walk a lot when we are in Key West. Like, we walk so much, it's not even funny. I mean, I just got started with my live stream. You are not allowed to demand my attention. What do you want? Go outside. Hang on, you guys. You are so, what do you want? Attention seeking. No, you know treats for you now. Sorry. Come on, outside. Sorry about that, guys. As usual, Mr. Bernie, he wanted to go. There he is, sitting in the sun. It's so cute to see him, though. He'll lay down, and then when he gets that side gets nice and warm and toasty, he'll roll over and lay on the other side. It's too funny. So we went on this, so we walk a lot there. So we know there are a lot of cemeteries and a lot of places that are not on the radar per se for tourists, but that's okay. I mean, just like walking around and seeing all of Key West. And at the most, we have rented bicycles and we bicycle all. We never drive there. We have never rented a car when we've gone to Key West. We either walk or bicycle. So I decided to go for one of these ghost tours, and so we went there, and you sign up and go through the process. I'll come to the divining rods. This is very interesting. So they tell us where we're going, the historic buildings and the story behind us, and they'll tell us also, like, if what, that's weird. You can take out your cell phones and you can record, and you can, if you see if they are those spirit balls, what do they call? I can't remember the name now, I forgot. And you can see those floaters around, and then sometimes you are able to catch disembodied voices and all that, even on your cell phone, like you can record. And so everybody was out with their cell phone and taking pictures, and oh, look at that wisp of smoke and this and that. Yeah, there are certain spots there where the activity is actually quite obvious, and like activity is there all the time. And sometimes you have to wonder, you have to kind of say, was it somebody smoking a cigar, and you have to think about all those things. So there's this one chick, she, ooh, okay, so she says, and they asked, are any of you psychics or mediums or whatever? So I didn't say anything. I kept quiet. And so this chick, she says, oh, I kind of dabble in it. It's just a hobby of mine, and whatever. And so this fellow, he straight up asked her, like, are you carrying a pendulum or anything with you? And she goes, no, I have my divining rods. And she pulled out a set of divining rods like this. So he was like, oh, okay, but I would just encourage you to be very conscious about what you're doing and what you're asking, because sometimes if a spirit senses that there is somebody who they can talk to, they will start communicating only with that person, and others may not get the experience or something to that effect. So then Mark looked at me and he nudged at me and he said, you better tell them. And I said, no, hang on a second. So then then he said, if you're using divining rods and all, you got to be careful, because sometimes you can pick up some really strong energy. And she goes, oh, I got it, but thank you for telling me. She literally did that, and I was standing there. I was like, oh, honey, okay, whatever. But I didn't know, like, I just kept quiet. And then Mark looked at me, and I smiled, and I shook my head. So that was basically my way of saying, no, I don't think she's an expert, because if she's an expert, she wouldn't be talking about all that. She would hush her mouth. So we started walking, and then Mark nudged me. He said, look, you better be clear, and you better tell them. So I went up to the guy, and I said, excuse me, and he said, yes, ma'am. And he takes one look at me and he goes, yeah, I know what you're going to tell me. You don't need to tell me that. And I said, okay. And he said, I know. And this is how true psychics can connect with each other. You can tell. And he looked at me and he goes, I know you have the gift. I was like, okay. And he said, I'm not worried about you. And he goes, I'm worried about her. I just smiled and I kept quiet. I mean, I wasn't going to say anything. And I didn't have divining rods. I didn't have my pendulum, nothing. Just my crossbody bag and my cell phone. And I was not going to whip out my phone and do all of that. I was like, wanted to experience it. And for me, the interesting part was wanting to experience how these people in the group were, like, their reactions, their experience. I was more focused on that because that was fascinating to me. Yeah, we went to this one particular hotel where, and if y'all can look it up, actually, it's in Key West. It's a really nice, fancy hotel. There's a wine bar at the bottom. There was somebody up top who, I think he shot himself or threw himself over or whatever. Y'all can look it up. So she whips out her divining rods and she asked, is it okay? And he goes, well, as long as you know what you're doing, And you could tell it's a free country. He cannot tell her, well, don't use divining rods or whatever, right? So, because there was nothing like that we had signed off on. So then she could have probably got annoyed at me, y'all. So she started walking off towards one direction, and we are all here doing whatever we are doing and listening. And I was so keen on the artwork and all that stuff. And so for the good 7-8 minutes she went. And so we, when somebody takes a deviation like that, you're not going to follow them. And so we just kind of forgot about her because we were all doing whatever all this is. We came down, okay, and then we started crossing the street to go to another place, and suddenly somebody said, hey, where's that chick with the divining rods? And so we all looked at each other, and I didn't know. I'm not her keeper. And so the fellow, he goes, oh, SHIT, I better go see what's going on. And he had an assistant. So they took off. They told us to wait, and they took off, and they went back into the building, and we didn't see them for a good 10 minutes. So that hotel, it's not a super high rise. It's a fairly high rise. They found her on the balcony, okay? She had I'm getting goosebumps, y'all. Ooh. So they found her on the balcony. She had fallen back, okay, and she was literally spread-eagled. Her divining rods were on her chest, like so, like crossed over her chest. So yeah, you could say that, Kirtana, there's a possibility you were holding like this and you laid back and you laid it on yeah, that's a possibility. Very possible. But they were crossed over on her chest, and so she was out cold. Absolutely out cold. So they had to wake her up, and they thought that she had passed out, she died, let's call 911. Who knows what happened to her? So the two of them, they kind of shook her, she had a pulse, she was breathing, and she had a pulse and whatever, and they woke her up, and she woke up, and she sat up, and they were like, no, hang on, don't sit or whatever. So they brought her down, and she started throwing up so badly on the side of the street. They ultimately ended up calling 911, and they hauled her off. Okay, they hauled her off. So that's it. None of us knew what happened after that. We forgot about that, all of that over. The next day, we went downtown. We bumped into this guy, and, I was talking, hey, what happened to that girl? And he was very sweet man, very nice man, in his 60s. He's been doing this for years. Very sweet, very nice. And he goes, you do not want to know. Apparently, she was pushed. And she fell back, and she said that she felt like somebody was sitting on her chest, and she couldn't get up, and she couldn't breathe. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah. So if you see, again, please don't think I'm saying all these things to scare you, because I don't want you to learn how to do divining, to do divination, and I'm worried that my career is going to be affected. Look, y'all, there's 7 billion people on the planet. I'm not the only one who knows how to use divining rods. The more the merrier. There's enough place for all of us in this universe. Okay? I'm just trying to let you all know the upside and the downside, so you can make the appropriate decision as to whether this is a journey you want to start. Is this something you want to continue? What are you doing it for? Why are you doing it? Is it for entertainment, or is it because something you're really interested? Be honest with yourself. If it is for entertainment, that's fine. But even if you're doing it for entertainment, like it's a hobby, I just want to go, and that's fine. But learn how to do it right. Learn how to do it right. And the most important thing, please learn how to protect your energy field. I don't care if a doctor or a psychologist or a scientist comes and says, oh, this is bah humbug. They are entitled to their opinion. I'm telling you based on my experience, please learn to first and foremost protect your energy field. Most important. Okay? So I end with that. Any questions before I move on? Hang on. You play, you pay, 100%. Absolutely. Gypsy Girl, you're right on. Let's see. Robert Boyle, father of chemistry, was the first to use divining rods. Okay, that's, yeah. Actually, I digress, but divining rods were used centuries before that. If you know, well, if you go back to history, all the way back in the times of the Mohenjo-daro and Harappan days, there is evidence that they were using divining rods. But yeah, but for some reason, and I'm not dissing you, Keenabag, don't get upset with me. For some reason, modern man wants to believe that every founder, excuse me, did I just spray? I'm sorry. Founder of everything and the person who discovered everything was always modern man from the Western world. That is so wrong. But anywho, divining rods were used way centuries way back then. So but thank you for sharing that, Inabag. And again, Google it. I'm not even going to go down that path. So Susie Q says, I'm desperate to go to Mary King's in Edinburgh, but the thought of attachments after being told several times I have the gift and I'm like a torch in the dark. Well, don't get me wrong, attachments don't just happen to people who are gifted. Attachments can happen to anybody. So it's not that only the gifted get attached. Attachments can happen to anybody. People shouldn't mess with things they don't know. Yes, okay, let me see. What this is not, absolutely. That's why I said, oh yeah, I know, Yenabag, I'm not mad at you at all. No. Yeah. Oh, it's been there forever. But, yeah. You could say that, yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Any questions regarding the divining rods? So one more thing. Now, one more very, very crucial. So when you start using your divining rods, like I said, experiment at home, okay? First, experiment at home. And it's okay. There will be times when it's like nothing happens. Nothing. Oh my God, this is just a waste of time. Boom, chuck it away. Right? Look, there are some times when we don't connect with our divinatory tools. We just don't. The energy is off, and that's okay, but don't take that as being a permanent situation. Don't assume that that is like forever and a day. Like I said, when I got these, for the longest time, I couldn't use them. Y'all know for the longest time, and I have been using shells for decades, y'all. This is not something I just picked up yesterday or day before. But for a good 6-8 months, these guys didn't want to play with me. My guides kept telling me, see, when I do the shells, there are different ways. Some people use 4 shells, 8 shells, 7 shells, 11 shells, some even numbers, some odd numbers, some go all the way up until 20, different kinds of shells, whatever. There are different kinds of shells that you can use too. So this is the bunch I got now, and I'm going to use it. There are a couple of different sizes. That's why I got this. Before I even start doing a reading per se with my shells, I have to ask my guides whether I have their permission to ask questions. And sometimes that's how I start. I ask my guides, is this a right time for me to ask questions? Are you willing to help me with this? Sometimes they just say flat out, no. Absolutely no. I put them away. Sometimes they'll say, yeah, maybe. Then I roll it 3 times. Yeah, maybe. And that'll be the first time. Second and third time, I get a confirmation that yes, go ahead, or absolutely no. I put them away. And then I ask my questions. I always seek the guidance and the help and the permission from my spirit guides to say, is this, So that's my process. That's the way I do it. Now, I'm also going to say one more thing, and this is a comedian I saw. I think he's a Scottish guy or an Irish guy. I won't mention his name. I saw a skit. I like watching comedy on YouTube. I really do enjoy it. Stand-up comedy, I enjoy it. I really do. I'm not into sitcoms and all that. I'd watch comedy all day long. So he had this skit where he was talking, I think he's Scottish. He was talking about, when people talk about, I sense an energy about me. And he was basically making fun of all this stuff, like psychics and mediums. And he's like, there's no such thing as a ghost. There's no such thing as a this. There's no, you know what? And I watched this skit and I laughed and I said, okay, all right, dude. You don't believe in it. Don't believe in it. But can you prove to me that that stuff does not exist? If you can prove to me it doesn't exist, then I will say, okay, I will also stop believing. So a lot of people, I'm going to say, some people genuinely don't care. Some people are not interested. Some people genuinely, purposefully. See, when somebody comes at you out from the left and is so emphatic about, oh, I don't believe it, it's bah humbug, uninitiated, unsolicited, I would be the kind of person who's going to stop and say, are you saying that just because you want to really find out, but you're not sure, you're afraid? You know what I mean? So I always look at it from that perspective. Like, why are you being so emphatic about this? Like, why are you being so staunch about this? I guarantee he has had an experience. He does not know what to make of it. He does not understand it. And so therefore he goes on the offensive and says, this is bah humbug. It's easier to write it off as bah humbug, right? For most people, human psychology, that's how it works. So I don't know if she learned a lesson, and I really don't give a flying fiddlestick whether she did or not. You mess with stuff you are not equipped to mess with, you're going to get burned. I mean, dumb, like, and the way she was like, so like, ugh, I was like, all right, lady. It's crazy. But anyway, so I was going to say, so understand this before you take a set of divining rods and say, I'm going to go to my local cemetery and I'm going to mess around with it. Please don't do that, y'all. Please don't do it. My advice, and hopefully, yes, it is my advice, and hopefully you will heed my words. See, you have to get confident, okay? It's like giving a Porsche to a 16-year-old child who has just got his license. The Porsche could be automatic transmission, that's fine, but that power, that child is not going to know how to manage that power, right? I mean, heck, you give a Porsche to a 42-year-old man who has never driven a Porsche, he was not going to know how to drive a Porsche, right? So please, I'm not saying this to dissuade you. First learn, get comfortable, get confident with yourself, right? And with your tool, your skills, and get confident. And then you start expanding and stepping out of the house. Like you go out of the house and you go on a walk and you take your divining rods and you do little things like that. And then you will kind of, first and foremost, better connect with your tool. Your confidence builds up because you're getting solid answers, proven answers, and then you can graduate and move on to wherever you're needing to go. One more thing I'll tell you. You know what I've used these divining rods? Here's a kicker. Okay? I need to have my water from my wine glass. I'm being bougie. Ooh. Oops, this is the only wine glass I still have. The plain cheap ones, y'all. I use them for water, and invariably whenever I set them on the counter, and it kind of sticks because there's moisture at the bottom, and the next time I go to pull it, the bottom comes off. And you know what I use this for? Like, usually the stems just break off, right? It breaks off over here or here. What I usually use these cups for is I have made a little like, what do you call, like a lampshade. So I have oh god, that was bright. Woo! Like a wicker basket, like I have jute, which is basically a natural thingy. I create, like, weave a little basket, and I put the cup in the middle, and I weave it together, and I go put it out in the backyard. I have 6 of them all around, and I fill it up with a little bit of water, and sometimes I don't. I set candles in them. So it's funny, although I have a hummingbird feeder, they don't like to go and drink from that. They go and drink from these things. I suppose it looks like a flower or something. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. Anyway, so I have taken this with me when I've gone house hunting. For myself and for a couple of my very close friends. So you're going to go, well, Kirtana, what the heck? So, what are you going house hunting for with divining rods? It's a divination tool. So, the way I use it, I go into the house when I go house hunting to sense the kind of energy I get from the house. If there are any specific spots, as I call them, hot spots in the house, my divination rods will tell me. What do you mean by hot spots? Like for you, hot spot could mean very, for guys, they'd be like, oh, is the siding gone, or is there what do you call those ants that eat up the wood? Oh my God, you know what I'm talking about. That sort of stuff. You can actually use divination rods for whatever you want to use. It depends on your skill level, right? So I go into the house to see if there are any hot spots. And for me, hot spots mean if there's any energy around their house. Some homes you don't want to buy, honey. Let me tell you, you just don't want to buy, you don't want to rent, you don't want to visit. You just, no. So I have used this many a time. you know, out of curiosity, I'll be like, oh, okay, if I have my divination rods, I'll be like, just stop at that house and I will, from where I am, I will do it. But the one thing I recommend is, but for my personal self, I've used it, and for a couple of my friends, I've used it when we've gone house hunting for them, and they've been like, Kirtana, can you come and do an energy read on the house? Or, you know, my husband and I really like this house and we just want to, you know, make sure, and I've done that. Absolutely. And when I bought this house too, I did it. Now, I will tell you, when you do these divination rods, like a compass, I make sure I step away from any solid metal, like solid as in like, yeah, if it's a keychain or jewelry, this is also metal. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, step away from your car, or if you're standing by a refrigerator, if you're standing by the AC unit, make sure you have at least 5 feet distance between y'all and this. Okay, that's my recommendation. I always make sure I do that. I keep at least 5 to 10 feet distance from any large pieces of metal or anything like that, like the garage door. If it's a metal garage door or whatever, I try and step away from it a little bit just to avoid any interference, right? Just an extra precautionary step. So you can use this divination for anything. Absolutely, you can. Of course, not to read astrology or read tarot, but you know what I mean. Any questions before I move on? You know what is funny? That owl, he hasn't come back. Like, he was there a couple of days and he was gone. Yeah, termites. Thank you. I don't know why I forget these things. Thank you, Queen of Wands, termites. So, broken water lines. Yes, you can. And Debbie, I was just going to say, Debbie, this has helped us because the home, if it has a pool, you can tell exactly that broken water lines. Or if there's a leak in the pool and something like that is going on, you can clearly tell. You can clearly tell. Anyway, all right. You know, the reason, thank you, Debbie, the reason why interesting what you say, tainted meat, for fresh cuts, yeah. Debbie, for me, the only reason for being, I mean, well, I shouldn't say the only reason. The reason why I put so much emphasis on just laying it out for you guys, laying the facts so that you can make your decision, right? So you can make an informed decision is because tomorrow, you know, I think about these things. Oh, wait, I forgot about my puppy. Hang on. What's he doing? Oh my God, I forgot about him. Boo, you want to come in? Bunny, you want to come in, baby? No? Okay. Oh my God, he's happy sitting over there. The good thing is he doesn't wander off. He never wanders, y'all. A lot of people have asked me, oh my God, doesn't he run away? I'm like, why would he want to run away? He's got a great life here, no rent, okay? He doesn't have to pay taxes. He doesn't have to get his registration plates, right? Pay for his car registration, okay? He doesn't have to pay electricity or water bill. He doesn't pay for his food. He has free medical care. Why the hell would he want to walk away from this? Right? He gets spa day once a month. He gets his nails trimmed. He gets his fur brushed. He just has to show up over there and he'd be like, okay, brush me, mom. Gets belly rubs. I mean, dang, he's got a good life. Oh my goodness. You know, a lot of people say that if I were to leave my dog out like that, he would be gone. You know, it makes me wonder why. Why would your dog want to run away from you? I'm sorry, I'm being sarcastic, but none of my pets, y'all, knock on wood, none of my pets have run away from me or anything. I've never had that happen to me. It's like never. Anywho, leave that. So, it's because I don't want anybody to say, oh, I was watching this YouTube channel, The Real Tarot, and she said I could do this, so I'm doing it. I don't want that to come back to me like that. So that's why I lay it on. Make your informed decisions. But he knows where home is. He does. Exactly. Thank you, Leslie. So Texas Peter, tell the rods how to respond. Yeah, you have to set write your code for that. You can do anything. Like you can do this for a yes. You can do this for a yes. You can do this for a yes. But you have to remember what you said, right? Otherwise, you'll be reading it wrong. Oh, Let me get him in. Let me get him in. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Give me a second. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. The advantages of living alone, you have to get up and open the door and close the door for your dog, basically be a doorman or whatever. All right, so that's that. No more questions about divining rods. Okay, let's move on. So the other day somebody was asking me for, a gypsy girl was asking me, Kirtana, can you show us some simple spreads? Absolutely. Excuse me. Any other questions? What? I thought she just came in. Okay. So, before I do a general spread, what I would like to do today is, and I know a lot of people have asked, do like a review of a tarot deck, okay? Nobody sent me these decks. These are all things that I bought for myself. I do not know what it cost because I obviously don't remember to tell you. Wish I could take a picture and share what my oldest woman. She sits and watches very intently. Oh my God, that is so cool. Tainted Me says, yeah, okay. So this is something I bought out of my own money. Nobody is sponsoring this video. I'm not getting any kickbacks if you go and buy it. I don't even know where it's available. But this is something that has worked for me. And it's kind of a cool deck. Well, let me see. Give me 1 second. So I'll show you both. And the reason I'm showing you these is because, okay, let me address this one situation, one thing, which I see very, very often. A lot of people get their knickers in a twist about, and it's okay because those are their values and for them that is important and there's nothing wrong with that. To each his own, right? So a lot of people say, oh, I'm not ever going to buy this deck again because when I look at the pictures, I don't see an inclusion of all races and all kinds. In this day and age where there's a lot of wokeness and things like that, and there's so much of discrimination in terms of races and this and that, I can understand that perspective as to why they are saying that it's about time we woke up and said, hey, look, why are we making the cards only, the people in the cards only, light-skinned? Why aren't we introducing anybody with a different skin tone or anything like that? I can understand that. I get it. But one thing we also have to say is for the longest period of time, wherever these cards were, Rider-Waite and all those people, I mean, for them, that's how they looked at it. It just came from, their background, right? That's how they see the world, through those particular lens, right? So for them, oh my God, hang on, interesting part. Bunny, out here, daddy's come, go. Sorry guys, come on buddy, daddy's come. You go bother him now. He can open the door for you and close the door for you and, okay, go, he's going this way, go to the front door. He's in the front door. Don't look at me with those eyes. You go, your papa's come. He's looking at me like, oh my God, now you're sending me to dad? What? So they were looking at life through those particular lens, and their lens was that colored. So therefore they made everything look like, let me show you a couple of decks. Let me show you. Let me pick up a couple. Well, do I even have? Oh my goodness. Where are my decks? Hang on, you guys. as I say that, I have to go get up. Where are my Rider-Waite decks? Oh my goodness. What? Of course I can't find my Rider-Waite deck right now. Jeez. Well, let's just take this. Right? So, you know, in those days, that's how they made the decks, and that's how they looked at life. I don't know where my Rider-Waite deck is, y'all. Everybody knows what a Rider-Waite deck is, right? So, let me just take the Tarot de Marseille. Oh, come on, baby. You don't want to... Let me just show you this. Okay, this is a really old deck. I've had this for years. I've used it. It's much loved. Oh, God. Girl, can I get it together today, please? Thank you very much. All right, stop fumbling. Okay. Look at this. Right? If you look at it, you would assume that all the court cards, well, I'm just going to show it to you one by one. Okay? So, some people may say, oh, this is all symbolic of Caucasian people, right? And some people may look at this and go, no, it looks like, you know, a little bit of a different ethnicity. Come on, camera, why aren't you focusing? I don't know why this camera is not focusing. It's being silly. There we go. So can you see the traditionally the Tarot de Marseille? So look at that, the way the people are portrayed or pictured, correct? Right? So, you know, I can understand why a lot of people get upset and they say, oh, well, there's not much inclusion. And if you go look at the other tarot decks that are so popular, for the most part, a lot of those court cards, etc., you know, they're all light-skinned, right? So people do get upset and they go, well, you know, I'm not going to do it because there's not enough inclusion over there and it's not right and they should start including more ethnicities. I get that. To each his or own, and nothing wrong with that. Me personally, y'all, I don't look at all that. I do not look at all that. It doesn't matter to me whether the people in the deck are shown as white or shown as olive skinned or shown as African American skin. It really doesn't matter to me. For me, it's all the energy I get from the deck. That is the most important thing for me. The most top of the line. I don't pay attention to the boxing. Of course, if it's beautiful, it's beautiful. I don't pay attention to the booklet because I will read the booklet if it is a different deck or whatever, read it like a storybook, like it's the artist or the person who's created the deck, you know, I will read it. Sometimes if I'm in a mood, I'll read it. Otherwise, I don't even care. I don't throw away the books. I always keep it in the box, right? But do I follow the book? No, I don't, because I read intuitively. So, for me, it's the energy I get, not the packaging, not how thick the card is. So, for example, this card, if you look at it, right? Let's see if it focuses. See, it's fairly thick, right? As opposed to, of course, this guy has been used and used and used. He's also fairly thick, right? I mean, the cardstock is fine. So I don't even care about that. Now this one also is fairly okay. But even this deck, FYI, when I got it initially, I was upset. I was like, this is ridiculous. Why do I need this deck? This is useless. I wasted my money. It's just a major arcana. This is crazy, but this is my go-to deck. And even this one, the Barbieri deck, I was like, what? Now I like it. I use it all the time. So when I look at this deck, for example, right? Look at this. Some cards are so flimsy. This is also not so bad. I don't pay attention to that. I don't pay attention to the size of the deck. I don't worry about, I don't have baby hands. I don't have man hands either. I have long fingers though. I don't worry about, oh, this is too big, this is too cumbersome, I can't deal. Yeah, granted, sometimes it's a little difficult to shuffle if you have really odd sized decks, right? I get it, but it's not it's not something that would deter me from using that deck again. For me, I go to the energy. How does this deck feel for me? How do I feel when I pick it up? That's what I go to. Okay, for me, that is the most important thing. So having said all of that, let me show you a couple of decks that I got. And again, you may say, well, Kirtana, you just said that it doesn't matter to you, and yet you're showing us decks with the where the people are portrayed as having different ethnicity or whatever. That's because I like the deck. I just happened to go by, I saw it. Now this one says it can be bought in the United States for $24.95. I couldn't tell you where I bought it from, but I'm sure if you look around you will find it. This is this deck. Is she not picking up? There you go, y'all. The Modern Witch Tarot deck. It's kind of cool, isn't it? Okay. This is the back. This is the side. This thing is here on the side. It's here. This thing comes out like this. I paid for it. I bought out of my own money. I love the attention to detail. Look at this. Look at inside. Isn't that cool? That is so cool, isn't it? On the inside. And this is a fairly nice, see, it comes like that. Okay. And so even here on the inside, it's got that cups and the wands and everything. You see that? So this goes like that. I like that. It's quite sturdy. Does it still smell? I've had it for a while, but I hardly ever open the book. The book still smells new because I never ever open. It's got a little itty bitty booklet like this. Okay. It's a cute little, the Modern Witch thing. It's got a little booklet here which tells us a little something about the major arcana, the minor arcana. It's a small little booklet, 10 of swords, the usual, the suit and, the pictures and all that, okay? Now, let me show you why I really like this deck. It is a very modern deck, okay? It is a very modern deck. This is the King of Pentacles. Actually, let me show you the cardstock. See, this is a fairly decent. Can you see that? Let me do that. Oh, there you go. It's not too thick. It's not too flimsy. It's all right. I like it. But one more thing I'll tell you, folks. When you get a new deck, this is very, very important. Please, okay? Please pay attention, okay? When you get a new deck, and you know how sometimes the cards stick to each other because it's new? That's because of the printer's ink. Don't go and rip it apart like that. Do not do that. You will ruin your deck in a heartbeat. Go stick the whole box. You don't need to stick it in the freezer. I just stick it in the refrigerator. Make sure nothing is set on it or whatever. Make sure no liquids fall on it because it'll get damp, because these are all paper, cardboard, right? So I just stick it in the refrigerator for about half an hour, 45 minutes. And then I take it off. It just like butter. It just kind of, it separates so easily. Do not force it. It's because of that ink, right? And what happens is, if it because of the heat and of the temperature when they pack it, when they transport it, etc., sitting in those big trucks, sometimes that top very, very superficial top layer kind of melts and it kind of softens and they stick to each other. So do not peel them up. It's like your photographs. Don't peel them up. Stick it in the refrigerator for at least half an hour, then take it out and try it. Sometimes if it doesn't, go stick it back for a little bit longer, maybe an hour, and then you take it and then you shuffle it. It kind of just, so you're not peeling off the layers on top. Sometimes what happens is they come with a film of, like how we put a nail polish and we have the top coat, they come with the top coat, and if the top coat comes off, then the nail polish color gets exposed and it'll chip easier. Same concept. Okay. What? something. I missed all the conversation. So I have 3 sets, and when they arrived, just didn't gel with them. Who knows? I mean, you know. If we don't gel, you don't gel. Oh, thank you, Afro-Human. This one, yeah, this is that black onyx thingy. My other rings I took off because I think I have some water retention and they got so snug on me because I ate a lot of salty food apparently. And so these are slightly looser rings. They're bigger rings. So I'm able to wear these. I feel lost without my rings. This never comes off. Never. This never comes off. Ever. Yeah, I used to wear that little, I don't know if you'll notice, I don't know why this guy keeps turning. Did I put him wrong side? So I got this and a pair of, yeah, exactly this. Oh my God, yeah, this earring, these earrings. And this for, I think, I don't know which birthday, but Mark got me this. So I like it because I like owls. I got that. He pays attention to what I like. I gotta say, he does better than me in gift giving. Anywho, here we go. Anybody in the chat room at the moment is concerned about or has been diagnosed as having appendicitis or knows somebody who has just been diagnosed as having appendicitis? I do like silver too, but it's usually gold I wear, but I like silver too. I do have a lot of silver jewelry, yeah. Yeah, this is very pretty, isn't it? Y'all, which one of y'all has been diagnosed recently as having appendicitis? I know the moment you have it, you have to run to the hospital, or know somebody who has just been diagnosed, or are you worried it could be appendicitis? I don't know. If there's anybody like that in the chat room, I don't know whose energy I'm picking up on. Take care of it. Okay, so let's get on with it. So this deck I really, really do like. So yes, you have to be cognizant about how comfortable you are in shuffling, right? You do it this way, you do it like that, or do we, do it the old school way? I don't know if you can see because, you know how we do that, like that. It depends on how you want to shuffle it. There's no right or wrong way of shuffling the cards. Some just like to spread it around on the table and then put it all together. Oh, she goes, my dog was just diagnosed with pancreatitis. Interesting. Thank you, Noble. See, I do have some good pieces I've collected over the years. There's one thing I want to show you all. Oh, my card fell off. Oh, come on. Oh, my goodness. Ah, damn it. Hang on, guys. I was trying to reach for something and now I'm knocking everything over. I need to show you all this. What? Is it not here? Oh, here it is. Hello. So I have this little owl thingy. I think somebody asked me where I bought it from, and a girl, I couldn't tell you where I got it from. I could not tell you. I've had it for the longest time. This actually has, I don't know if you can see. Can you all see? This little toggle. Shoot. You see that toggle on the side here? I can actually open that. So this is like a locket. I have something in it that I have something in it, and I wear it when on certain occasions for certain reasons. This is another thing that I have. This is of course silver. I'm not going to open it again. You see that little toggle? Well, my fingers. Come on, focus, focus. No. This top square box, I can open it again. I have something written in that I wear. So there are a few things that I do which I wear, and that's the kind of stuff I'm going to be teaching once I start my classes on my website. And that is not going to be for everybody because that's getting into different levels of You know, a lot of people think it's witchery. It's not witchery, for God's sake. Okay, let's get on to these cards. So look at this. This is a modern witch's tarot. Four of Pentacles. Look at the imagery. Look at the picture compared to our traditional tarot. Clearly, this is a very modern looking person, right? She's got some fancy boots on. She's got her glasses on, right? Camera, can you focus for God's sake? Come on. Oh, the camera doesn't want to focus. Hang on, you guys. I want you all to see. There we go. See, this is very, very modern. She's got modern clothes on. Okay, I love this deck. This is why I got this deck. Not because over here it has the image of, not necessarily because it has an image of a darker person. It's the feel for this deck. Look at this girl. King of Cups. Knight of Cups. Look at that. Remember when I say gender and is like, just because it's a queen doesn't necessarily mean it's a woman unless there are certain cards that signify that it is a woman, right? I hope your little puppy dog gets better, Yinabag. I said appendicitis, Pauline, and Yina said her dog has pancreatitis. Okay, so this is a very nice deck. Look at this one, Queen of Swords. Right? So this is an all-inclusive type of a deck. Look at this. Ten of Pentacles. So I really like this deck. Now, one thing I'll tell you about this deck, y'all. Look at this imagery. It's very modern. See, one thing I'll tell you. Some people prefer the traditional tarot deck, right? The traditional picturization or such. Some people like things modern like this. Some people have emailed me and they've asked, okay, this is something I want to share with you all. Somebody emailed me some time ago and said, why don't you start doing tarot, reading tarot just for those who are LGBTQ community. Read only for them. Like, can you please start doing videos just for them? And I said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. And so I replied back and I said, no, I'm not. And in fact, I had shared this with my moderator. And so I got a very, very nasty email back. I mean, I'm not going to mention their name or anything. I got a very nasty email back. And in my first response to their first email, I responded, I said, no, I'm not. And here is why I'm not going to do separate videos just for LGBTQ community. I explained why I won't do it. And I got such a nasty email back, and I read that email and I was like, dummy, you don't understand what I said. You didn't read my email. Did you not read past the no, I'm not? Clearly you didn't. Or you're just plain old stupid. You know how people, they just fixate on one word and they don't look past any of that. Now here's the reason why I will not do separate videos for LGBTQ. Please don't for even one moment think I don't support them. I do. I 100% support them. I've said this time and time and again. It doesn't matter to me what a person's sexual orientation is or leanings are. It doesn't matter to me. I always look at people and say, why are you so mad at them? I mean, how is a same-sex relationship affecting your life? Why? How? They are living their life by themselves. Are they, because they are a same-sex relationship, your life is all in a turmoil? Why? Explain to me. Help me understand why you think your life is in a turmoil. They don't give a fib about you. They are just going about their daily life, living their lives. They have the same ups and downs as heterosexual relationships have. They also, fall out of love. They fall in love. And I'm sure even in same-sex relationships, there is cheating and there is this and that. Same old BS as there is in a heterosexual relationship. There's nothing different. It just so happens that they happen to be in love with, or they are inclined, more attracted to somebody of their own sex. What's wrong with that? If they go to court and they get divorced, they have the same BS that heterosexual relationships have. So why should we be upset with that? I don't comprehend that. To me, they have never, it has never bothered me. It has never affected me. I'm like, dude, way to go. I mean, like, dude or dudette. I mean, at the end of the day, you have found somebody you want to spend your life with. Absolutely. So what? So that is why I accept them on that level. I don't see them as any different from heterosexual people. I do not. That is why I will not do separate videos just for them. Because in my eyes, they are not any different from any of us. They are first people, then everything else. To me, that is my way of showing inclusivity. So if I start doing, in my humble opinion, if I start doing videos just for the LGBTQ community, that means right there I am differentiating them, putting them in a different box than the rest of the population. That is discrimination in my opinion, if I do that. I don't want to discriminate. I don't discriminate. I have never discriminated. They don't bother me. I am not bothered by their inclinations and their orientations. They're just people, man, just like us. So for me, by not doing a separate videos for them, in my opinion, is showing inclusivity and accepting them as I have always accepted them since way back when. So, it really bothered me when this person said that. And that led me to think, and this person also said in the video that, I have to start including decks. This is somebody who probably watches my videos on a regular basis but will not identify who he or she is. And that's okay. It's like, you want to hide behind that, you go hide. Clearly, you lack confidence. And this individual, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, they had some generic, I have the generic email, like, I don't know, smellingrats@yahoo.com. I mean, that's not an email address. I just made that up. Like something so neutral, you couldn't even tell if it was a male or a female. So, and it shouldn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know their name. They didn't sign off, nothing. And this individual did say that none of my decks, and here's the thing, none of my decks have any hint of the LGBTQ community. So first and foremost, that fool does not know what I have and what I don't have. So for him or her to say none of my decks, this individual has no idea. He or she shouldn't be making that statement, because I guarantee this person is not somebody I know. If they knew me, they would not have sent me that email in the first place. And secondly, how the heck do you know what I have and don't have, dummy? Hush and sit down, right? And the second thing is, look, I have access to the decks that are being put out in the world, and in all honesty, there are not that many decks that are dedicated to the LGBTQ community. And if you paid attention to what I said, for me, none of that matters. What is the energy I get from the cards, from the deck? Does that mean that I purposefully refuse to look for a LGBTQ kind of a themed deck? No. I did not purposefully go looking for one like that. I don't do that. That's not how I buy decks. I just look, I see, I look them up. What is the feel I get from them? Does it feel good? Oh, is this interesting? Oh, okay. What's the energy I get from them? Buy it. That's how I do it. So there you have it. So now here we go. Some people, it's crazy how they just assume, Assumptions are just that, assumptions, and they're wrong. So hush, right? Oh, what? What? No decks have the alphabet represented. You don't create the deck. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, Delvin, I know what you meant. We are not offended. Yeah, we are first humans. Why should I do a reading just for LGBT? By doing that, I am discriminating. Right? I don't get that. So, I don't understand. I think that person was just trying to create trouble for me. Okay, so this deck, I would recommend you guys. Like I said, let me show you. You see what it says, the price point over there? Okay, so this is $24.91 US, $24.95 US, $33.95 Canada. And this deck, the creator is Lisa, Lisa Sterle, Sterle. Now I don't know who this chick is. I bought it out of my own money. Nobody's sponsoring me. I just decided to show you guys because I like this, and the reason why I like it, it is modern. Yeah, we are in 2022, right? It is modern. Look at that. They're all wearing modern clothes, right? And they have not. And the good thing about this deck is, it's not like. Look at this. Right? It's not that they have specifically picked on one race or one community or anything like that. They've kind of just gone at it. I love this card. Look at this. How cool is this? She has really included, like, look at that. Right? It's really nice. I really do like this deck because it's kind of cool. And look at that, y'all. I mean, look at this deck. It's okay. We're going into a slightly sensitive aspect, you know, body image and self-image and all that. Three of Wands. Look at that. Camera doesn't want to focus. Oh my God, this camera is something else. There you go. The reason I'm showing you this card is, listen, it's not like this creator has made all the girls look a specific way and all the guys look a specific way, like traditional what society expects us. This is real, right? I mean, this person definitely does look like she has a normal body, right? You know what I'm saying? It's not like she's saying, oh, we're going to make all these chicks look skinny and all these chicks look heavy. No, it's not like that. It's like very, very normal. Look at this. I love this. Let me tell you, I don't think I want to pick a fight with this one. She'd probably whoop my butt. She looks like I'm ready, bring it. You know what I mean? I love it. It's got a very, very modern feel to it. And look at this, the King of Wands. Very, very modern feel to it. There is no age per se. It's just, you know, this deck is really, really, really nice. I like this deck. They are not being focused on just one kind of a race or ethnicity or sex or type of body or anything. It's just so inclusive. Hats off to this lady, this Lisa lady, Lisa Sterle. Lisa, if you're watching this video, I do appreciate your creativity. I really do enjoy this deck. So that's all I got to say. And it's a nice deck. So now that's that. Now another deck I got. Now this is another creator altogether, and I will show you. Okay. Oh, by the way, Lisa's deck, the top of it is this. Hang on. Oh no. Hang on, you guys. This camera of mine is not wanting to do what I want it to do. Can you see that? Sorry, y'all. Camera, can you focus? It's a very nice, pretty. I don't think it's a turquoise. Like, she's got the color theme going, you know. There, my camera is focusing. All right. I really like this deck. It's really cool. Very nice. I like it. Now, this is another deck. Wait, who's the publisher? Sterling Ethos. So this is also from Sterling Ethos. So the publisher is Sterling Ethos. Okay. This is also from Sterling Ethos. This is another deck, Sterling Ethos. So this is the Essential Tarot, 78 card deck. By the way, guys, this is the traditional, 78 cards. This one, the usual. This is called the Essential Tarot. Okay, and it says 78 card deck with guidebook by Chloe Zarka Grinsnier. Chloe Zarka Grinsnier. This is a cool deck. My camera is on. This is the same concept. Okay, really cool. I had to smell it. This has got all the sun and moon and stars kind of thing in the inside. Look at this. This is kind of cool, right? I like this deck. So it's got the same thing inside. I like this publisher. They do a good job. They do a good job. And this deck is, I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you because, oh, here, $24.99 US, $37.50 Canada. But I don't know whether that's what I paid for it, y'all. I don't know. I couldn't tell you where I bought it. I couldn't tell you when I bought it. I'm sorry, y'all, because I don't keep track of all that. So does she have a book? I thought she had a book. Yeah, she does have a book. Look at how cute the book is. Isn't that cute? How cute is that? It is so cute. And the usual thing, you know, inside it's got a little, you know, the essential Chloe Zarka Grinsneer. Okay, it's a really cute little, the typical little Ten of Pentacles and what the author thinks. Look at how cute this is. I like this. Yeah, this too smells new because I never open these books. They stay closed. I love the artwork. Look at the artwork. I like it. The attention to detail. It's a really cool book. So let's leave that there. Now, these cards, even though they are from the same publisher as the other one, look at the size difference, okay? Look at the size difference. Oh, I'm not holding it right. That is so weird. How the heck did that come in here? I found this guy, Mercury, on top of this. I don't know how that happened. Why did that happen? Hang on, everybody. Why did that happen? I have not opened this deck in a while, so... Okay. So let me show you the size difference. Or maybe it is. See that? So this guy is slightly wider and slightly taller than this guy. So see? Slightly. Okay? I don't know. Look at the print on this. The cardstock is pretty okay. It's not the best. It's not the worst. Even this is not the best. It's not the worst. But I'll tell you one thing. This feels a little stiffer than this. Now, one more thing I want to say is, as you start using the cards, they get a little bit more pliable. Because when they're brand new, they're a little stiff. Now, some cards, don't get me wrong, they stay stiff always because of the way the cardstock is or what they've used. But as you keep using it, they get a little bit more pliable. It's easier to shuffle. It's easier to do that. Then again, you don't want cards that are too pliable because then you'll end up, when you shuffle, you get that cross in the thing. Y'all, this is another deck I would recommend in a heartbeat. Look at the imagery, y'all. It's so simple. It's very modern. It's really nice. I really like it. Okay, let me show you. Hang on. Oh, it's so annoying. There you go. There you go. Isn't that pretty? This is the Three of Wands. Okay, let's look at this. Eight of Wands. I'm not doing that to make you all feel dizzy. I'm just trying to get the camera to focus. See? This is the King of Wands. Sorry, y'all. Dang, camera. There. The Nine of Cups. Beautiful. I love it. See, it's very intricate with the imagery, the artistry, but then it's also so simple, right? Look at that. I mean, don't you think like there's enough detail, but there's not too much detail? Because I'll tell you one thing, y'all. Look at this. This is the Seven of Swords. Now look at this, the Eight of Pentacles. Look at that. Look how cool this card is. See, why I like this deck really is because the artistry, the imagery is really, really interesting. Very interesting. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It's almost like old school, like stuff, but very simple, but yet there is enough imagery. Because I'll tell you this, in my experience, for a lot of newcomers and even sometimes for experienced people, if the imagery is too complicated, it kind of distracts you, and then it is a distraction, let's just put it that way. And then you kind of lose your focus because you're looking at this and you're looking at that, because every bit of the card is giving you messages. It depends on what level you are at. You will be able to do that, you know. That's why sometimes you see me, I will take my time and actually look at the card, because there's things that pop up. So if you are already at that level, then good for you. But sometimes it's nice to keep it simple. You don't want it too complicated. Hang on. There you go. Right? It's beautiful. I love this deck. If you all get, and look at this, the Six of Pentacles. Hang on. There you go. So then what happens is, this deck is something that I would say you can use if you are a beginner, because it's simple, it's not going to distract you. And you can even use if you are, you know, at a different level, a slightly more advanced level, or even a very, very advanced level. Beautiful cards. Love it. Look at this. Knight of Swords. Look at that. The Hermit. Why in the traditional tarot they show the Hermit as a male, I don't know. Here it's a female, and I'm okay with it. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Okay, so this is as far as these decks are concerned. These are two, like I said, y'all, I just want to make it categorically clear. I am not trying to show you this because I want you to go out and buy these cards. Nobody has sponsored these videos. These people don't even know that I'm showing these cards. These are cards that I paid for out of my own money. I like it. I think it's fun. I have used it. They have worked just fine for me. This is something that, you know, people of all levels could use. You would really enjoy it, and give it a shot if you're in the market looking to buy a set of cards. But Susie Q, I also want to say, like, if you know, when you say things like, you know, you did say something over there about, you know, I have to go look at my cards and talk to them nice and be nice to them, you know, or something like that. I know you meant it in a light-hearted way, and I'm not offended by that. But just so you know, it's all about how you connect with the cards. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, you just don't connect with the deck. You just don't. It just doesn't work that way. And if it doesn't work for you, then don't use it. You know, when we do, let me show you another set of cards over here. They are, yeah, I don't know if I want to show you these cards. This is a little personal. Let me just say they are the Hermetic Tarot and all those decks. That's for really advanced people. One thing I'll tell you, y'all, and again, not to scare y'all, there are some decks that are advanced. Please don't, you know how we always overestimate our skill level? Oh yeah, she said don't buy it, but I mean, yeah, it doesn't look that complicated. I will do it. I'm going to buy that deck. I'm just going to start off at this level rather than at this level, because we all have this inflated sense of ego and sense of, oh, I'm really smarter than I think I am. That's how we are all human beings. We do think like that. Please don't go and buy those complicated decks. Please do not do it. Please do not do it. Please do not do it, because let me tell you, sometimes how shall I phrase it? If you're playing with something that is not at your level, it's not going to be good for you. It's not going to be a good experience for you. I would recommend leave those complicated decks alone until you get to a point where it's an easy transition and it's easy to understand. If you're racking your brains trying to figure out, I don't know what this means, I don't know what that means, I think this is the Queen of Pentacles, but I'm not sure. No, don't do it. Please don't do it. Don't get into those complicated cards. So let me see. I'm going to show you all a couple quick spreads. Yeah, when you have a really good deck that you connect with, buy a duplicate of it. I do that. When I really connect with the deck. Another thing that's on my agenda is I want to get the Barbieri deck and Xenia deck or Zania deck. I'm going to buy dupes of these. I don't have them. I have just this one. But as you can see, it is so well loved, and it is so, you see how it's all fraying on the sides? By that you can tell that I have used it. I use it every single day for every single read. So, oh, that's so funny, Joan. That is so funny. See, that's the thing, if there's so much of detail, because we think, oh my God, this is a special deck, this has so much of detail to it, I'm going to get it, I'm going to do it. It complicates things. And then when you read it, you are going to make a mistake, and you're not reading what you're supposed to read, because so take it. I'm not saying don't ever do that. That's not what I'm saying. Once you graduate, then you gift yourself the next slightly more complicated. Once you're absolutely comfortable with this, then do that. That way, you spend all that money, you are going to get the 100% out of it, right? You're making an investment. You want to maximize on that investment. So take it slow. Please don't think I'm saying, oh no, some things are off limit. No. If you know, in all honesty, if you're honest with yourself, that you have reached a level where you can understand that you can deal with the energy of that deck, and you can handle that energy, and you're able to decipher all those minutiae, right? Then go for it. But if you're going to spend $50-$60 on a deck that is really complicated, and you want it just because, oh, I have this deck with me, and you're not going to use it, what's the point? I don't get it. All right. So somebody asked me the other day, next time I'll show you all this. We'll do it on the next one. This is really a fun deck. Decks like the Marseille decks and all that, leave it for now. As beginners, I would recommend you all not to venture into that. So somebody asked me, Gypsy Girl asked me, can you show me... But what do you think about spirit boxes? Yeah. Oh, good question, Inabag. Absolutely good question. Inabag always asks me questions that really kind of are very, very interesting. I do appreciate you. And also, it helps other people, right? So, spirit boxes. Okay. So, let's give that a second. So, for those of you who know, as they say, ghost hunting, first and foremost, I hate the word ghost. Because it makes it sound so, I don't know, ghoulish, right? But then again, let's just call it spirit, because to me, that's how I address them. They are spirit, they are energies. Although ghost is not a bad word, it just feels a bit off. You know what I mean? So when we talk about different ways and different, when you go ghost hunting, aka spirit hunting, you really don't hunt them. They're everywhere. So what is the need to hunt them? Right? Why are you hunting them? Are you hunting them because you want to put them out? Like, what are you trying to do? Right? So when we go on these little, shall we say, projects where we want to communicate with spirit, or we are trying to understand if there is a particular spirit, be it a negative or a positive entity, spirit, energy, what is it doing? Does somebody need to be helped to move on? Do we need to remove a negative energy from a particular space? What do we have to do? There are different tools that we can use. As I said, divination tools, your divining rods, your pendulums, your tarot cards, your shells, your whatever, your spirit box, your recording devices. Now there is a lot of modern equipment that people use in terms of what we see on TV, right? They have the spirit box, and they have those radios that apparently the wavelengths, and then you adjust it, and boom, you get a voice, and all that stuff. Y'all, I am not that. I don't rely on all that technical stuff. I don't. Do I own a spirit box? No, I don't. In all honesty, my cell phone, oh, it's got the picture of my kids, my cell phone, right? I use this. What do I use my cell phone for? As we all know, or even this. Yes, I have 2 cell phones. I'm one of those people. One is for my work, and that other one is personal. Where is that thing where you have voice memos? All cell phones have this voice memos or voice recording. I just use that. In all honesty, I just use that. I do that. I don't go and look at all those things where they have those lights and then they see stick figures, and I don't use that equipment. I don't own that equipment. I don't have a spirit box. If energy wants to communicate with you, they will communicate with you. Having said that, one thing I will tell you about spirit boxes, all these electronic equipment, they draw energy from us. They find it very easy to draw energy from your equipment. So 99.99% of the time, I have experienced, I go with a full charge of battery and zoop, it drains. It has happened to me while I've done readings over here. 100% it shows the battery is full. I'm just 20 minutes into the reading or the filming, and next thing I know, my camera is flashing and saying 0% battery. Impossible. So they do draw energy from us, and they do draw energy from us for 2 things. One is to communicate with us. One is to energize themselves so they can do all their mischief, the negative energy. So can I shoot down spirit box and say, oh, it's just a bunch of bah humbug? No, I'm not going to shoot it down. A lot of people have used it. A lot of people have used it successfully. But for me, what that success means, and the only time I will say spirit boxes are successful, is when I know for a fact that I have seen, I have backed up, I have experienced that same energy come through and the same things come through. So that's 2 people. One person is using a spirit box, one person is just going with their spirit, their energy. If both of them conclude with the same readings, then I can say yes, the spirit box works. Because 2 people are giving you the same information and confirmation, right? But if it is just the spirit box, am I going to just blindly assume that the spirit box is right? Sometimes, yeah. Not all the time, though. Do they work for some people? Yeah, they do work for some people. Do they work for other people? Not necessarily. Sometimes some people will go to spirit box and as we've all seen on television, nothing pops up. Nothing. They don't get a reading. They don't get nothing. But somebody else just goes there, a psychic or a medium, and they're able to pick up energy. It all depends on how spirit wants to communicate with you. Like yesterday when I was doing this reading, this same candle, smells divine. The same candle, the flame, it was all over the place, dancing. The same candle, it's not so bad now. So they can communicate with you any way they want. If they choose to communicate with you with the spirit box, they can. Sometimes spirit box works. You're able to pick up some sounds, some voices, some words, etc. But I have personally not used those. So I'm not going to give it a stamp of approval, a seal of approval. I just go with my spirit and I do my thing. So I hope that answered your question. But I'm not dissing it at all. Like I said, the only thing I use is my cell phone. And I have picked up some weird sounds and some noises. I've also picked up words, like individual words. I can't hear it maybe because I'm distracted already, but this is constantly recording. So then I have picked up words. I've picked up, it's the weirdest thing. I've picked up somebody calling my name that only my family address me as. and I'm not going to say what that name is on the internet, because like I said, this is the name that my family call me by, only my family members. Okay. And for the longest time, my kids didn't know what my official name was. So if anybody said, what's your mom's name, they would say the name that my family called me, until I would tell my kids, no, 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 don't tell them that. This is my legal name. And my kids, I remember as young kids, they were like, oh, Ma, we didn't know you had two names. I'm like, no, that's not how it is. You know, this is a name that people have called me ever since I was popped out, I suppose. So anyhow, so I have recorded over here. I didn't hear it physically, but when I went back home and I played it, somebody addressed me by that name, and I freaked out. I freaked out because there was nobody there in that group who even know I have, as they say, a pet name or nickname or whatever. Nobody in that group even knew I had a pet name or a nickname. I don't talk about it. I don't mention it. Those who know are the only ones who need to know, and so I don't need to tell them. Those who don't know are the ones who don't need to know, so they don't need to know. And I freaked out, and it was such a clear, succinct, very, so it was my pet name, stop, pause, like as a no sound, like paused, and then it said a couple of other words. And I was like, okay, duly noted, thank you very much. And it very clearly told me like to stop what I was doing and to leave, but not in an aggressive manner at all. It was in a very, hey, it's like, let's say, hey girl, can you just stop that? You know, that kind of a tone of voice, not aggressive, not being overly pushy, not being like, I'm telling you. It's like, hey, suggestion, can you just stop that kind of a thing. And I was asked to leave, and I actually didn't leave it because I didn't hear those words, like physically I didn't hear those words. Okay, so when I went back to the hotel, I was listening, and then I called these people and I said, hey, look what my phone picked up. You guys, I actually made a big joke about it. I said, you guys have all your fancy equipment, and look what my phone picked up. And so when we did backtrack and figure out when did we actually leave, believe it or not, and I'm getting chicken skin here, I didn't realize that I said that I physically left that area right after this picked it up. But I didn't know this was picking it up because I didn't hear it with my ear. You get what I'm saying? Because they were saying right after that, I said, I'm feeling very queasy, I'm feeling very uneasy, I'm feeling very, very thirsty, I need to go. And I left. That's another thing that happens to me. I get weirdly thirsty. It's like weird how thirsty and dry mouth I get. It's anyway, stop with that. Okay, so let me show you a couple of things in terms of a couple of spreads that I use. So there are some, I think I discussed this on when I did my first class, but we will go ahead and do it anyway, right? So we got a deck out. No, this doesn't smell new, only the book does because I never opened the book. Pauline, I know. Yeah, my nickname, nobody knows. Like I said, I was blown away. The only people who know it is my family members. Nobody else does. So it's like, who in the world, right? So we have some very basic things, right? We go through, we get our deck, we cleanse it, we say our prayer, we do whatever our ritual is, whatever, we shuffle our deck, right? We hold it in our hand. Some people knock on it to wake up the deck, and whatever, y'all do whatever, right? You see a lot of these people on YouTube. I watched a couple of videos where they say, oh, I'm going to knock on it once, twice, thrice to wake up the deck because the deck is sleeping. Okay. You do you, boo, right? So have I on sometimes done that? On very rare occasions, I kind of just knock on it once, not to wake up the deck, but it's just one of those things that, I don't know, it's like a tick almost. A tick. Look at this. You gotta love that. Isn't that so cool? The creators put that in the deck. Okay, so we can spread the deck out like that, or we can shuffle them and take random decks. Now, we can do a one card read. Okay, a one card read. Okay. What is Susie Q saying? Okay, you have a question, Susie. So Susie says, Texas, do you mind asking about the reaching via spirit boxes to your phone via lives and entities finding you once this fab story is shared, of course? What? I've seen people blow energy from decks or heard of them sleeping with them under their pillow. Not sure I would be doing the pillow thing. Yeah, they just say that you connect with it. You connect with it by sleeping it under your pillow, keeping it by your bedside, doing all those things. Whatever works for you, boo. It's like, if that's what you want to do, go do it. It's how do you connect with it, right? Some people want to do 10 push-ups as a warm-up before they actually do the workout. Some people are saying, to heck with the push-ups. I'm just going to sit here and watch TV and eat bonbons. That's my warm-up. Right? One second. See, one thing I'll tell you, when you want to meditate on a card or whatever, yeah, sure, you pick out a card and go keep it by your bedside. And you have a diary, you have a diary, you ask a question, you get a card. Yeah. Hang on, y'all. Um, so I don't know, Susie Q, you're saying all kinds of contradictory things and you're contradicting yourself. So I don't know, I just have to laugh. So if you ask a question, if you have a sincere question you want to ask about yourself, doing a reading for yourself. So you shuffle your cards, you go through the process, you pull out a particular card, right? Before you go to bed, you write down your question, keep that card by your bedside in your diary, whatever, and you wake up in the morning, you don't know what messages you might have. So that I understand. You know, so Susie Q, if you're going to ask a question, ask, because if you what you're doing is kind of a little bit annoying, because by saying, oh, I know, now everybody is curious to know what that question is, so please don't do that, okay, because it's very distracting. If you have a question, frame it properly, appropriately, and ask the question. Otherwise, don't say anything about it, because that's taking away everybody's attention. So why would you do that? The whole idea of this is to hear what I have to say. Unless you want to go ahead and have a class on the side, then go ahead and have a class on the side. Maybe you start your own channel. It's kind of annoying me now, so stop with that. If you have a question, straight out ask it. Stop playing all these games. So we have a deck. You can do a couple of things. Just one question. Okay? Whatever your question may be. You think about a question in your head. I'm not going to ask you all, tell me a question, right? Oh my God. Sheldon Sharpness says, just call me Pig Bundy. That was so funny. Yeah, the dead never sleep. So you think about a question in your head, whatever your question may be. You do your shuffling of the cards. You just want a simple yes or no question, right? You can shuffle, and if a specific card pops out, you can read it. If otherwise, you can pull a card. Now, some tarot readers say, "Oh, the card has to go flying, and only that card I'm going to answer." You can't actually take a card out. Some people will shuffle, and then if so cards like this come out, they'll take only this, only that. I'm not like that. Whatever I feel like, I do. Whatever I'm drawn to do, I'll do. Sometimes you see me, I hold the deck like this, and if there's a specific card that's standing out like this and it's calling my name, and for some reason I just take that out, whatever. Sometimes this is what's left in my hand. It depends. So we have one question. You can do however you want to do it. Let's just say one thing I'll tell you, when cards stick together, I can feel that they don't want to come out, they're not easy, I shuffle it again. You've seen me do that. So anyway, whoever asked whatever question, I don't know what questions you'll ask, this is the answer to your question. So I asked you all to think about your question, right? So this is a yes or no question. So if any of y'all asked a specific question, so here you go, this is your answer. This is a yes or no answer. Okay, there you go, right? I'll leave that. So now that was a yes or no question, answer to your question. So you know what exactly that King of Cup meant. So that's that. Another option is you can have 3 cards. You can draw. This is Gypsy Girl asking me to show us some simple thing. 3 cards, right? So here's the thing. So you take your card, one card, whatever the card is. The first card you draw could be your present situation. Your present, indicative of your present current situation, depending on what question you asked. So you set that down. In this case, it is the 6 of Cups. Maybe your question is what is my relationship with so and so who I haven't seen in the past. I'm just creating that question, y'all. I don't know what is my relationship, or I'm thinking about the past, or whatever. So this is your present situation, indicative of your present situation. So then what I do, I will shuffle, and I can get another card, and this could be your, what is the situation, or what incidences led you to your current situation. So this could be your past. Maybe you had a great marriage, a great relationship with somebody in the past, and now you are missing that person, or you are feeling nostalgia. Maybe you broke apart from the person, and this is what you're feeling right now. This is your current situation. This is how you're feeling, and you had this great relationship and things didn't go, and you're parted ways, and now you're feeling all sad and wishing things could be the way it were in the past. So what is the future outcome? Let's ask what the future outcome is, right? 6 of Swords. The future outcome is, I'm sorry, but you're going to move on. You may be nostalgic. You may be feeling nostalgic about a past relationship or about a relationship. You're wishing things could go back to being like this. But right now there is a little bit of sadness. Your outcome is you're actually going to be moving on, or maybe the other individual is going to be moving on. So, right? So we have your present situation, what led to your present situation, and where are you going to go? What is the outcome? Right? Seeking Serenity. Hello, welcome. I think I've discussed that, Leslie Bonito, astro projecting. I think I've said that quite a few times. And hold your thought. I'm going to finish another couple more simple draws that you can do. Okay, so one is a yes or no. So supposing we do the yes or no, I pull the King of Cups, and you're like, okay, I don't understand what this is supposed to mean. You can pull out a clarifier. But rather than go on and on with clarifiers, just do a 3-card deck. What is your current situation? What led to it? And where are you going to go from here? What is the outcome? So then we can do the 5-card deck. Okay? So the 5-card deck is very simple. People do the Celtic cross and the this and the that and all that stuff, right? So we will go with this 5-card. This is your current situation. Your first card, current situation. Okay? I'm going to draw it for you and I'll show you. This is your current situation. Then you shuffle again and say, what contributed to the current situation or what led you to the current situation? Set it down. Right? Then you can ask, what is the obstacle? What is preventing you from your current situation? So this is your current situation. This is your love life. What led you to this is maybe you were too harsh on the relationship, or maybe there was a third party. Okay? And what is the obstacle? What is stopping you from moving forward? It's a 10 of Swords. It's because you're feeling so completely like stabbed in the back that you don't know how to recover from it. So you're stopping yourself. So if you are able to look past this, then if you were able to work through that, then where is that going to get you? It's going to get you justice. Right? So we have 4 cards. So we have your current situation. What led you to your current situation? What is stopping you? You're feeling very depressed. You're unable to think clearly. This is your outcome. The right thing is going to be done, right? Justice is going to be served. The right decision is going to be made, okay? And what is the overall energy or what is the overall outcome? Because just because the justice card comes in doesn't mean you're going to like the justice card. Doesn't mean you're going to like the decision that's going to be made. Correct? So now you want to know what is the overall outcome, overall energy, right? And how that's going to affect you. So let's ask. You're going to get a new offer. Maybe they're going to bring, hang on. Maybe they're going to bring an offer of peace, a new opportunity, right? An effort to take action, okay? An effort to take action, make the right decision. Let's give it another shot. Here's the offer. I didn't even get into Pentacles and all that. I didn't. So this is a simple 5-card deck, right? You can lay it out in any series. So the way I've laid it down is the current situation is in the center. Okay, for me this is the center. This is what led to it. It's on my left hand side, right? Oops. The obstacle, I'll have it on top. Justice at the bottom and the overall on the far right. You can lay it whichever way you want it. It doesn't have to be in the shape of a cross. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever you find easier, however you want to lay it, you can lay it. It doesn't have to be a Celtic cross. See, all that is very, very old school, y'all. It's really old school. I don't pay attention to all that. I lay the cards however I want to lay it. What is your question? Boom. What was stopping you? Where do you want to place the obstruction? Do you want to place the obstruction in front of you or behind you? Doesn't matter. You write it down on a piece of paper. Card number 1 is going to be current situation. Card number 2 is going to be what caused it. Card number 3 is what's stopping it. Right? What's the obstruction? Card number 4 is what is the action that needs to be taken or is going to be taken. Card number 5 is what is the outcome going to be. Card number 6, how is the outcome going to affect me? Card number 7, how is the outcome going to affect the other individual? You can go on like that. And you can draw clarifiers for any one of them. So my recommendation, I think I said it, write it down on a piece of paper, the format you want to find. Like write it down on a piece of chart, right? Like the art board like they have in school, right? That piece of paper that they use for art. So like take and outline it at card number 1 and write on that, right? On your chart, card number 1 means this, card number 2 means this, card number 3 means, and follow that and keep doing it, then you don't have to have that guideline for you. You can just draw it. You get what I'm saying? I hope you understood. Gypsy girl, did you get that? Gypsy girl, honey, you know you can call me anytime. I'll be more than happy to share this information with you. So we'll do that. So let's put this away. And somebody asked me this question about what do you think about astro projecting. See, astro projection, there's nothing wrong with it, y'all. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. My question is, why do you want to astro project? Why are you wanting to do it, and what are you wanting to find out? If you want to astro project to see whether your ex-boyfriend is screwing around with so-and-so, then really you're just wasting you just lowered your spiritual energy that much lower. You really did. I mean, do you really care who he's messing around with? If he's your ex, what does it matter? Like, what does it matter? Move on. The very fact that you're I'm not saying you, I mean whoever, I hope you understand. Jane Doe is astro projecting because she wants to go see what her ex-boyfriend is doing, or her ex-husband, who he's screwing around with. Please, you have just shown the universe that your true self. Why in God's world do you want to do all that? Oh, I want to astro project because I want to know what my girlfriend is doing now. Girlfriend as a not significant other girlfriend, as like your best buddy. I called her and I asked her, hey, do you want to meet for drinks this evening? And she sounded so weird. I think she has another best friend and I'm no more her best friend. Let's please, again, believe it or not, it's not young kids who do that. I mean, young adults, it's mature women who behave in such a stupid, immature fashion. Or I want to astro project because I want to know, is my boss going to pick me, or is my boss going to pick somebody else? Look, make up your mind. What are you... Okay. Sensitive subject for me, clearly. What are you wanting to gain? What are you wanting to find out? All right, fine. You have a legitimate reason. I want to find out A, B, C, D. Okay, fine, great. You're above board. You're not doing any stupid thing like, I want to know if she's going around with so-and-so. I get it. This is legitimate. This is something serious. You want to find out. Great. Fantastic. You astro project. You are going to be successful in astro projecting. You will be able to see what you're going to see. Great. You come back. You're fine. With that knowledge, what are you wanting to accomplish? How is that now, since you've seen what you wanted to see, are you really happy that you saw it? Or do you wish you hadn't seen it? Now, since you know what you know, you've seen what you've seen, okay, what now? What are you going to do with that information? What are you going to do with that information? I had somebody who actually asked me one time, the only thing that he or she... I'm not going to mention the name. Well, he wanted to astro project is he wanted to know. Well, I should be careful. I suppose not mentioning the name is all right. Would safeguard their identity. He wanted to know. Okay. So his twin brother died, mysterious circumstances. It became a testy situation where they kind of sort of had evidence, but they didn't have evidence. The person who they thought was responsible was not speaking. And this guy, because it was his twin, that connection, he wanted confirmation of his suspicions. Okay? So he wanted to astro project to that guy who he had suspicions on to be able to see what the conversation was going to be, because somehow he got word, but that guy who was in his mind the suspect, he somehow found out that he was going to meet with somebody and they were going to have a conversation, and he found out that they were the best of buddies, and he had a vague feeling that he was going to spill the beans. So he wanted to astro project to find out whether he was somehow going to fess up or spill the beans and say, yeah man, I'm the one who did that to that guy. I said, fantastic, fantastic. You are going to do your astro projection. You're going to find out all that information. You're going to come back. And now what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to go to the police. Oh, yeah, John Doe, you're going to go to the police and tell them, oh, look, officer, I astro projected. And this is what I heard. So go arrest him. And the officer is going to say, all right, man, John Doe, let's go. Let's go cuff him. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Stop and think. First and foremost, the police are going to say, okay, this fellow is onto something. He's either high on drugs or he's like a complete psycho. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, okay, fine. We'll get back to you, Mr. John Doe. All right, fine. Give us some time. Let's think. No, y'all, that's not how it works. In an ideal world, yeah, we wish, the police are open and say, oh, you astro projected. All right, great. Come on. A whole bunch of people think it's bah humbug. So think about it. But this man had a very legitimate reason. And I asked him, I said, look, even if you do that and find that out and you go to the police, do you seriously think the police are going to, take note of it and do something? And he said, Kirtana, I know they are not. Then what, for my own satisfaction, I want to know. I said, okay, if that is the case, you just want to know for your own peace of mind, and absolutely do it. Y'all, let me tell you, he was in a mess for a couple, 2-3 months over there. Oh my God, he was in such a mess. And this is a person who's pretty well placed in a company in Southern California. I think he's probably about 45, 46 now, earning a 6-figure salary, good looking man, successful, very nice, straightforward person, well educated. He was a mess for the next 3 months. He just could not function. And I didn't see him for a little bit over there because, after this conversation, he said, and whatever. And then we kept in touch over the phone. He'd call me and he'd say, hey, this, that. And then he went silent. And so I kept quiet. I'm not going to fall all over myself and say, hey, tell me, no. All over it. Boom, out of the blue, about 3.5 months after that, I got a call and he said, hey, Kirtana, do you remember me? I'm like, heck yeah, dude, how are you doing? And he's like, can we meet? I said, sure, man, no problem, let's meet. And so we actually ended up meeting at a restaurant, an Italian restaurant, and oh my God, I couldn't believe it was him. He had lost so much of weight, he had gone all gaunt, and I'm like, what in the world? He burst out crying. He said, I should have taken your advice and I should not have ever gone into it. Now, mind you, this individual, he is not like a beginner. He for years and years, he has meditated. I have coached him for a lot of time, like coached him as in like, I'm not his coach, but like shared my knowledge about, all these things, meditations and this and that and whatever. So very awesome dude. And so I've known him for many, many years, and he has always been interested. He actually started meditating because he wanted to get over a injury he had, which he got into a car wreck. He had an injury and that constant pain. So he wanted to meditate to be able to overcome that and not constantly be taking painkillers, because he had a very high position in the company. And he's like, I don't like the way the painkillers muddle my brain, so I'm not going to take those painkillers. And, he wanted to get to it via meditation. So that's how we had connected and all that stuff. And he says, I wish I had taken your advice and I wish I had never astro projected. So please keep all those things in mind. Again, you may say, Kirtana, you're being very negative. You're always saying, don't do this, don't do this. And no, y'all, I'm being very real. If you want to go for it, hey man, go for it. But I'm telling you, if some ding dong sitting over there, and I said this time and time and again, these guys saying, oh yeah, man, I astro projected yesterday. Yeah, he's probably smoking doobies over there and eating those cookies. And he's all high as a kite and he's saying, yeah, I astro projected. That's bullcrap. That's not astro projection. So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of focus. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of practice. And sometimes, in spite of having all of that, let me tell you this. Let me put it this way. Every single time that I wanted to astro project, I have not been successful. You are not going to be successful every single time. If somebody comes and say, oh, I can just shut my eyes and I can astro project, I'm going to say, oh, okay, nice knowing you, you have a good life. Now, this is my opinion. If somebody out there is saying, I'm an expert, I can astral project at the drop of a hat, go for it. Go for it. Cheers. Good for you. Cheers. So, in my experience, me, little old me, every single time I have tried to astral project, I have not been successful. In other words, I have not had 100% success rate. There have been a few times where I just could not. And that's okay. I let it go. Maybe that's the universe telling me, hey, for your own safety and security, we're not going to let you do it. See, I always look at it from that perspective. If I'm trying something really and I really want to get something done, and it's for what, no matter how much effort I put in, no matter I'm doing everything right and I'm still not being able to get it, I find there is a block, it's probably for my own protection, and I just let it go. And I go back and visit it again another couple of weeks later, and yeah, I have been able to. But 100% astral projection every single time, I don't buy it, y'all. I don't buy it. I don't care who it is. It takes years and years and years of practice. It all starts with meditation. It all starts with meditation. Getting to a point where you can actually meditate like in its entirety, as we know what meditation itself is, a process of learning. Oh, I can just go sit on the couch and I can shut my eyes and I can meditate. I can't do it. My mind is spinning 100 miles an hour. Sometimes it takes me a while to, it's not like, okay, I count backwards 9, 8, 7, no. It doesn't happen like that. Sometimes I have to sit like that for about good half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, and then I'll be able to meditate. It takes some time for me, at least my experience sometimes, to still my mind. On other occasions, I'm able to do it sooner than half an hour and 45 minutes to get into a meditative state. So I hope I answered that question. Yes, there is a difference between being negative and being cautious. Absolutely. Thank you, Tainted Meat. Yeah, thank you so much. Here comes the doobies. No need for anyone to get upset. Today is class day. Therefore, out of courtesy to others, please do not interrupt the note-taking sessions. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, depression and anxiety, yeah. See, that's another thing, meditation really, really helps with those who are struggling with depression or anxiety. Please give it a shot. Meditation really helps. Look, I'm not one to say, hey, don't take medication and, hey, don't seek medical care. That's not what I'm saying. I am not a medical practitioner. I'm not advising you to stop medication. I'm not. But please try meditation. Try it. You will realize that you will slowly start needing less of the medication. Your body will tell you. Whenever you feel a moment of anxiety, and you can tell when that anxiety is slowly creeping in, right? It's going to be very difficult. It's not easy. Say, okay, Kirtana, I can tell I'm getting anxious. I can tell I'm going to have an anxiety attack. Okay, I can tell it's coming. Okay, all right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to force myself to go sit, pull up a chair, sit in the sun. If you like the sun, go sit in the sun, sit under the tree, right? And I'm just going to sing a song. I'm going to hum a tune. I'm going to knit. I'm going to just sit here and, I don't know, look at that tree, look at those birds. Okay, it's going to be difficult because anxiety, the way it attacks you and stuff, it's difficult because it is difficult. But if you say, okay, fine, I can do it only for 2 minutes and I can't, and the anxiety sets in, that's okay, because instead of having a 40-minute anxiety attack, now you have a 38-minute anxiety attack. You get what I'm saying? I hope I'm explaining that. Or try to meditate. I can feel the anxiety coming. I can feel the anxiety. Okay, anxiety, I got it. Okay. Deep breathe 10 times, 20 times. Okay. Then instead of 10 or 20 times, do it to 30 times, do it to 50 times. Or set your alarm clock and say, okay, I can feel the anxiety attack coming in. But for the next 60 seconds, I'm going to set my alarm clock, and all I'm going to do is just breathe. Just breathe. See, again, meditation starts with your breathing, right? You slow down your breathing. You slow down your heart rate. You all that is going to help you guys. I cannot actually go into every single nitty-gritty, but then I'm not telling you to stop medication. If your primary care physician or your doctor said you need anxiety medicine, you need anxiety medicine, absolutely. So I'm not telling you to please stop. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, just try the breathing thing. Or even they say even essential oils, right? Lavender or whatever, just put and again make sure you don't have allergies, just put a little bit, and just inhaling the lavender, that calming thing, it helps you calm down. It really does. Does mental illness interfere with clarity? If you're talking about from the spiritual aspect and from the spiritual, a very good question, Pauline. Quite the contrary. Quite the contrary. Quite the contrary. I'm talking about from the spiritual aspect of it. It's the weirdest thing. This is again my opinion, my humble opinion. It's actually quite the contrary. Because I am not a psychologist or whatever, but I'll tell you, mental illness is a complicated thing when you look at it from a medical perspective, right? From a neurological perspective, whatever perspective you look at it. But in that state of complication, right, there is a small element which is devoid of all the, oh my God, how do I explain it, y'all? Let me rephrase that. So when we talk about people who have Asperger's syndrome and people who have, I don't know, whatever other of those mental deficiencies or disabilities are, it's a weirdest saying, because some of those people end up being the most talented, maybe a fantastic artist or a pianist or whatever, right? And they can sense something better than we people can, those of us who don't have mental illness, right? It's the weirdest thing. I don't know how to explain it, y'all. So if you look at it from that perspective, even though they may have this slightly debilitating situation with their clarity and their state of mind, with that comes a certain element where it's so pure and so untouched that they are capable of seeing certain things with so much more clarity. Do you get what I mean? Look at an Asperger's syndrome kind of a situation, depending on which end of the spectrum they are. Some of them are functioning totally fine. Some of them turn out to be a hot mess. Some of them turn out to be, and I'm not in any way trying to be derogatory. What I meant by hot mess is like really going through a lot of stress. And some of them end up being like fantastic musicians or fantastic, I don't know, whatever. Do you get what I'm saying? Pauline, did I answer your question? I don't know, y'all. Sometimes I feel like I can't get the words out right. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I missed something. Okay, what's going on? Okay. So, are feathers flying in the henhouse? It's okay, everybody. Let's take a step back. It's fine. It's fine. You all make mistakes. Okay. Thank you, Texas Patriot. Yeah, that kind of makes things a little bit muddled because it's like taking away attention. There we go. Thank you, Texas Patriot. That's a lot of work for putting in. Okay. My pleasure. It's okay, y'all. If the shoe doesn't fit, don't worry. It wasn't meant for you. It's as simple as that. Okay. Yeah, she's trying to get the notes. So those of y'all who are interested in the notes, so thank you. It's okay. Listen. Sometimes we kind of get a little ahead of ourselves, and sometimes feathers fly, and sometimes it's like, again, if the shoe doesn't fit, don't worry about it. Don't take it personally. Okay. So it's okay. It's all good. Yeah, Inabag, you're right. It was, yeah. Yes. Thank you, Texas Patriot. All right. Yes, that's what I was trying to say, Delvin. Autistic, it's a spectrum. So yeah, they can see things better. Thank you, Texas Patriot. Yes, we do. See, that's another thing. Yes, y'all. Okay. Uh, she really doesn't have to do that, she's very good at it, though. She y'all, I want to take this moment to really appreciate what Texas Patriot does. First and foremost, let me tell you, she doesn't get paid. Okay, let me make that clear. And I told her very clearly, I said, this is a volunteer thing and I'm not paying. If you have any expectations, let me know and we can figure it out. Her email was, I will never ask you for money. I enjoy it. I want to do it. Let's do it. And I told her, I'm Texas Patriot. I'm saying this so that people don't think that, you're getting paid and this is your job. It is not her job. She's volunteering to do this. I trust her implicitly, and there's a reason why I asked her to be my moderator. She doesn't have to do all this taking notes and all that. We all have seen how other YouTube channels work. Their moderators just make a lot of noise. They don't go and put out all this information, taking notes and putting it all, so that tomorrow if you'll go back and watch this video and replay the chat session, it's there in the notes. You can then take notes, because sometimes here we are not taking notes ourselves. So she's doing that as a favor. She also, every single time I do a live, she always asks me, so who are you going to do live for? And she says, give me a few minutes, let me get some basic information about that individual. So when people are saying, who is this person? Not everybody has heard about everybody. Then I can put it in the chat so people have a backstory. See, all those things she takes time out of her life to do, and I truly appreciate her. I never asked her to do all of that. She's doing it because that's the kind of person she is. She's very thorough in what she does, and she wants to facilitate. So when she's like taking down all those notes, and we have other stuff being interjected, we're making life difficult for her, when really she's doing that to help us. So I hope we all understand that, and I hope we are all on the same page. So tomorrow when you'll go and look at the chat session, the notes are already there for you. While we are watching this, we don't have to take down the notes, because we are all interacting this way, right? So I really want to say thank you, Texas Patriot, so very much. And y'all, another thing I want to say is, I know everybody gets excited and everybody has questions, and sometimes your questions, I read them and I ask. Sometimes I miss them, not because I have any specific agenda, but it just so happens that I miss them and we get carried away. But let's be a little bit more cognizant about all the different variables and how many people are here, and that sort of stuff. We're all adults. It's all. So sometimes getting distracted does work to the negative, right? Then we don't have the notes, and then you guys don't get the full benefit of it. So okay, so so I am going to be announcing two other moderators, because remember I said I'm going to be doing that, my my website and all that stuff. I'm going, they'll hear it. I'm going to get to them in an email within the next couple of days, so they can prepare themselves if they want to. And I'm going to make it very clear, it's a volunteer thing. I'm not paying anybody. So I don't want them to feel, because if I have to pay somebody to be a moderator, it goes into a whole nother ball game of, their employees and this and that. I'm not getting into all of that. Thank you, everybody. I do appreciate you, Texas Patriot. I do. I really do. Yeah, we can do that. Absolutely. And like I said, that's why with my Facebook page, right, y'all can, I'm going to, like I said, it's going to be a closed group, so it's only on invitation. I'm not going to let anybody come in there, because I don't want disruptors there. So, Texas Patriot, she does a lot too. So when we have these conversations, and I say, okay, I'm going to do this or this, she, sometimes when you hear the phone go off while I'm doing a reading, she'll be like, hey Ketana, she'll just send a request, and not a request, she'll send a suggestion, and she'll say, would you consider this case? Like, I get requests from so many people, and I'll be like, Yeah, and she knows me so well by now. Sometimes I don't even respond right away, and she knows when I don't respond right away, that means I'm not getting a good sense or a pull from that to do that particular person's reading, and she never pushes me. She never does. And she says, "Let me know if you need any information, I'll send it to you." I always tell her, and she can vouch for this. Don't ever give me information ahead of time. I don't want to know. Believe it or not, y'all, I don't do research. When I go online to look, it is to get their full name because I do numerology, and to get their date of birth and date of death because I do numerology. Okay, other than that, I don't want to know anything about that person. And I always want their full name because of numerology. I always tell her, I said, no, you can send it to me when the reading starts, or when the video starts, or you can send it to me 15 minutes before. If we have a picture of that person, that helps, because I do face reading and all that stuff as well. And, I like to keep the picture of that person. So it's the way I connect with them. So, and she's been awesome. And whenever I say, no, I'm not getting a good sense for that, she just leaves, or she never pushes me. Because she knows, I think we've come to know each other so well, so she can just tell. So it's interesting though. And the other two people who I am going to call upon to be my moderators, I think they also sense like we're on the same page. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, that's a good idea, Queen of Wands. She does. That's why she gets a bit annoyed, I guess, because she's like, hold on, everybody. And sometimes people don't see it, I suppose, but it's okay. We are learning. It's okay. Thank you for being patient, Texas Patriot. It can get frustrating. And remember, she's taking time off of her work also to do this for us. So, okay. All right, moving on. Any questions? Any questions, everybody? Anybody, everybody? So tomorrow is silver screen. I'll be doing the live at 4 o'clock. I haven't yet decided who I'm going to be working on. If any of you all have any suggestions, please let me know now. But please, I don't want you all to think that because you make a suggestion, I'm going to pick on that person. So if any of you all have any suggestions, yeah, she always does that. See if you get any vibe off of this. Any of you all have any suggestions for tomorrow's Silver Screen Sunday? If you're already typing, you won't see the wait message. Yeah, as it is hidden by your typing box. Yeah, it's all good. Technicalities. Let's go past that. We figured it out, and we're moving past. Sandra M says, "Will any suggestions for Silver Screen Sunday for tomorrow?" I was thinking of one contender is Nipsey Hussle, but we'll see. Anybody else? Nobody wants to say anything. I think everybody got a little drained after that. Maybe have a lesson on your letter bowl. Joan. Oh, Joan, there's nothing to it. I'll show it to you right now. I'll show it to you right now. Yeah. So this is just, there's no lesson here. This is just that. Okay. So in one, I have letters and numbers. I have two sets of letters, two sets of numbers, and these are charms that I've collected over the years. And these are my dice that I use on occasion. I don't use it all the time. When I'm driven to, I use it. And this is all the sun signs. Yeah, this is from a candle container. This is all the sun signs. Oh, well, you can't tell. Two sets. When I need validation or when I want to confirm, I pull multiple tools to get the confirmation. When my spirit guides tell me, I don't know how to explain. It's almost like they Natalie Wood, that's interesting. They almost communicate to me and they say, it's like, how should I explain it, y'all? Let me see. It's like I'm sensing that something is on the periphery, okay? I can see it, I can feel it, but I can't grasp it. And I'm like, okay, there's something there. I'm not on. Okay, all right, show me, show me. No, oh, it's not clear. Can I see a little clearer? You know, when I get into that type of a phase, I reach in and I pull, and this gives me the clarity and confirmation saying that, okay, it's either this alphabet or this letter or whatever. And sometimes spirit guides clearly tell me to pull that so that I know for a fact, okay, rather than guessing or thinking. Then as far as my charms are concerned, I don't know, y'all, it's the weirdest thing. Those of y'all who have had personal readings from me, y'all will know I randomly pull it. There is no rhyme or reason. Again, this is psychic mediumship, whatever you want to call it. I randomly pull a charm or whatever, and then I'll be like, hey, is so and so in the army? Is so and so in the navy? Did so and so did this? So and so do that? And they'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Now, keep in mind, there are more than a couple, I don't know, maybe 100, not 100, maybe about, because these are so tiny and this is really heavy. This bowl here, this has more than 500 charms in it, y'all. Because they're tiny, I don't need to have big ones like that. So people are blown away by how much all that kind of correlates. It's almost like writing a story. You have the main character, you have the side character, you have the, you know, all that, and then you bring them all together and you have the solid story, and then you can read it. So it's like that. Okay, so all right, so wait, okay, so okay, I hope that helped you. Josephine Baker, interesting. Let me see, I'm gonna note it down. Josephine Baker. I don't want to do Frank Sinatra. It doesn't interest me. He was an A-H. I never liked him. Sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, really. I don't like him. I don't need to apologize for my likes and dislikes, right? Natalie Wood. No, he wasn't all that they made him out to be. Honestly, he wasn't. Let me tell you that. Brittany Murphy. Yes, Susie Q. Brittany. Who was talking about Brittany Murphy? Was it you, Susie Q, who was talking about Brittany Murphy and her husband? That maybe I do that. Bob Marley. Sharon Tate. Yeah. That's a good. Let me see. I have some names now. Let me see what I'm drawn to, and I will do that. Absolutely. All right, let it go, guys. Let it go. Let it go. That's okay. Okay, we understand. Okay, okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to stop and I'm going to address this. Okay, let me address this. Listen, y'all, listen. First and foremost, most of us here are women. Okay, you know how us girls can get a little, all right? Let's face it, we all do. We have our moments. But there are moments when we come across as being a little, you know, but it's not personal. You folks, let me tell you one thing. Y'all, Texas Patriot, I'm going to spill the beans right now. I'm going to spill the beans. You have no idea how many people and how often Texas Patriot has says, I really like her. She sounds awesome. How many times she has said that for so many of y'all. There are just a couple of people where she has said, I don't know about this one, Kirtana. And sure enough, those are the people who we had to say bye, Felicia, to. And y'all know who that person is, those individuals are. We basically said bye, Felicia, and they were gone. But other than that, she has never spoken negatively about any of y'all. Ever. we laugh about it. We say, oh my God, we had, somebody, and we ourselves at times, I myself get, and she tells me too, she says, oh, you went a little heavy handed today, Kirtan. I've never seen you so upset or so angry. So please don't take it personally at all. It's like, we are trying to kind of, it all happens. Oh my God, it happens. So don't take it personally. And let me assure you, the number of times she has said, I really appreciate this person. She sounds so cool. She sounds so much fun. And, she has never said anything negative about any of y'all here ever. So one thing I also want to say is, those of you who have been with me from the very beginning, I think it's like she says, we just kind of take it for granted because y'all have been with me for so long that we just assume. And assumptions are not necessarily always right, so I get that. So again, please don't take it negatively. And you're absolutely right, some of us have really had tough lives. Some of us have gone through some horrendous situations, and we are here, and sometimes we get a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more defensive, which is absolutely possible. I myself get defensive sometimes about certain things, so I get that. As long as we are able to talk about it in a very adult way, I suppose, and let it go and not hang on to those animosities, we're fine. Like something Susie Q said, and then I said something and she said, I'm sorry, and she went quiet for a little bit. When I say things like that, I'm not picking at you, and I'm not, y'all know when I'm ready to off somebody, I'll be like, call it out. So when we say things like that, please don't take it personally, okay? It's like, girl, what are you talking about, okay? It's like that. So don't take it personally. I'm just saying, I really do appreciate you. Y'all know very well by now when I get mad at anybody, how I go after them, and I'm like, enough of your BS, and bye, girl, there's a door, and off with you. I just say it out. So don't take it personally, okay? I really appreciate the group of people we have right now. I really do. So it kind of, I want to keep that going. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Moving on. It's like the teacher saying, hey, the two of you over there, stop chatting, and then everybody's attention is back, or somebody from the back throwing chalk at somebody else. Stuff happens. It's all good. Yeah, we all are. We all are. And yeah, you're right, Delvin. The last couple of years with this virus thing, I mean, everybody is frazzled. I don't think society or mankind has really gotten past that. I mean, it's such an impact on every one of us from all walks of life, right? I mean, so human beings are social creatures, and to be like purposefully like put in quarantine or isolation is so difficult. So yeah, I don't think a lot of us have even gotten past that. So James Dean, yes. Who said that? Debbie Bagley. Bonnie and Clyde. Ooh, Joan, she's thinking out of Bob C. Okay, hang on. James Dean. You know what I think about Bonnie and Clyde? I think they were two just little shit kids who got up to a lot of mischief, and that boomeranged and went off. They were just stupid kids, and they got carried away with that and ended up whatever. The woman's Scrabble is understandable. I have 4 holes. Yeah, I mean, the way I look at this, y'all, although I haven't met each and every one of you personally, and clearly we are all in different parts of the country, different parts of the universe, I truly believe like it's like us girls, hey girls, what are you all doing this Saturday? Let's meet. I truly get that feeling here. And I'm not just saying it to sound like, oh, she's being nice. Like, no, I truly feel that way. And it's like everybody's sitting together, and shall we order? No, hold on a second. Either, I don't know, let's pick a name. I don't know, my Max 100 hasn't showed up. Or I spoke to Texas Patriot, and she said she's driving here, so let's give her another 10 minutes. That's the feeling I get from this, so. Or I mean, think about it. I seriously look at it this way, or maybe somebody, I don't know who, Queen of Wands. Maybe we have a conversation as a Queen of Wands. I asked you where you bought that lipstick from and what color is it, and it's been 2 weeks and you still haven't told me about it. Girl, are you going to share or not? That kind of a vibe I get. So it's all good. I really appreciate this group that we have. I truly do, y'all. I really do. Okay, so Bob Saget. Hey, did y'all see about that drama going on with Bob Saget now? Oh my God. Okay. I'm getting goosebumps. So I was watching some random clip that popped up on YouTube. They showed like a minute and something of some interview that somebody did, a video interview of Bob Saget and his wife, whoever that chick is. She's apparently 30 years younger than him or whatever. Anyway, that's beside the point. And random. It was so weird the way he said it. They're having a conversation and suddenly says, yeah, you're probably going to find me dead on my bed. Go look it up. Go find it. You'll find that on YouTube somewhere. I was blown away. And the way he said it, and you look at his facial. So watch it, hear what he says, and then go rewind it, mute the sound, and pay attention to his facial features. It's almost like he knows something. Oh, so that's another thing about Bob Saget. Right now, they're saying that, or rather, the family is like wanting to keep my hair again. Lost focus, distraction. The family is trying very hard to keep the the autopsy results out of the public's thing, because they're saying they don't want it to become another fiasco like what it was with Kobe Bryant. But I'm thinking, like, why are you all wanting to keep it a secret? Because the fact that his skull was fractured in 3 different places, and there are a lot of people who've come out and said that there is no hotel room where you could have had that kind of injuries. It's like weird. So I don't know what's going on with Bob Saget, y'all. I don't know. Bernie, no, I'm not opening the door. You stay out. I'll be out in a bit. Premonition. Yeah, and the way he said it too. The way he said it, that was so weird. We're just a bunch of girls. Maybe, I don't know, think about it. I don't know, just gabbing away, and it literally feels like that, no? The glasses come off. Auntie, the women's Scrabble is understandable, yeah. Oh, girl, we're all going to be, it's all good. Debbie Bagley, yeah, no, you're not new. You're part of the family. Get with it, Debbie. Get on the train. Yeah, it's like, even though you fight, it's like, hey, make sure you call me when drive safe, call me as soon as you reach home. That's the usual stuff. Yeah, Bernie wants his mommy. He's just such a doofus. Yinabug, that's interesting, but I don't know how to go about doing it, girl. I really don't know. It takes a lot, but now with all this virus thing being lifted, maybe in the near future, girl, I have so many things going on in my head right now and things that I'm working on. Yeah, it's like Tainted Me says Kirtana is the mama bear, Texas is yard. No, I didn't see that. What did they say? Full skeleton dispersed by predators at sea. Oh, I didn't see that, girl. Yeah, Bob Saget thing is very, very odd. I don't buy it. Because you're saying at the back here, his skull fractured. Then, so at the back, and then here, and then on the left. So even if he had bounced back, one of those cracks must have been after he died. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm not buying into it. I am not. I don't know. Good gossip, yeah. I think that's that's a brilliant idea, Unibug. That's something that's going to take a lot of work. And hey, why not? Thank you, Unibug. Absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know about the Brian laundry case too, y'all. There's so much about that. See, and that those the laundries, the parents. Oh my goodness. I have a really, really iffy feeling. I'm going to share this with y'all. Um, Remember, I did that case about what is his Shoshana something Drake or Dark or something. Uh, she's so funny. How does that work then? The psychic fair. Oh, that's like, get together a whole bunch of people and just basically, I don't know, maybe invite people and say you have a bunch of have have like a discussion session where we can all bring whatever our experiences are, our skill sets, or maybe somebody can ask questions and somebody can answer questions, or hey, I'm at this level, this stage, I'm finding this blockage, how do I get past this, and have a discussion on that. Or we can do it online too, I suppose. And or that'll be day one, and day two, if we were to do a physical location, right, and send people invitations and have them come. Let's say I host one here in, I don't know, Texas, and invite people, and then take book a little auditorium or whatever, and then have open it to the public on the second day and say, hey, these are our qualified psychics and mediums or tarot readers. You can come and have a consultation or ask your questions. We can do it that way, or we can do it online. So good question, Inabag. I'm going to look at that. Yeah. Let me see, what does she say? Oh, yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, like a big psychic conference, but then we don't have to do it on such a large scale. I mean, you can take it a level further and then have these people come and offer their gemstones, or, offer their crystals and all that, and have a little thing like that. We can do that at a local level. Lately, I'm the Hermit card. I think he's dead. I think he committed suicide. I am convinced of that. Okay, I was going to say, remember I did that video about Barry Lee Morphew and his girlfriend Shoshana Drake or Shoshana Dark or something? Y'all, the past day or so, it is so weird. I am getting the feeling that he's going to do something to her. Let me pull my cards. Give me 1 second. I want to pull a couple of cards for her. I have a feeling that she needs to be careful. Have you done? No, I haven't done Princess Diana. Hey, Susan. No, I haven't. Shoshana Dark or Shoshana Drake. I'm actually a little concerned for her safety, to be honest with you. Joan Kelly, she says, I turned all of my senses off for 20 years to raise my kids. I want them back now, but it's... Oh my goodness. That is so funny. Oh my God, y'all. Look, Shoshana. 9 of Cups. I don't know, y'all. I'm not... I'm feeling a little, like, worried for her even. I mean, she's nobody to me, but 8 of Pentacles. Come on, man, there. Ooh, that'll be a lot of fun, Susie Q. Hey, a cruise. Ooh, look at y'all talking now. Same here. Maybe we can do a cruise. No, that's not. Hang on 1 second, Shoshana. I'm a little bit concerned for her. You know what, y'all? 9 of Cups, we have abundance, good health, wishes coming true, but it's almost like yeah, it looks like everything is coming true and everything is falling into place, but there's something that I'm not satisfied. I'm still holding back something. I'm still like waiting to see. I'm not buying into it 100%. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles does talk about mastering your craft, continuing to work, continuing to focus on what you're doing, continue working on whatever you're working on, continue down on the same trajectory that you're going. And then Page of Pentacles, it almost feels like, there's a offer, there's something new that's being offered. You know what, y'all? I am going to stop this right now, and I'm going to say I would not be surprised if the police are, how she got into trouble because she went into the property to pick up something and she was not supposed to, and they picked her up and she went to jail for that or something like that, trespassing or stealing or some stuff like that. I would not be surprised if the police are not going to call upon Shoshana and try to pin something else on her and say, look, this is also something that we are considering pinning on you, which is going to put you into a lot of doo-doo. So give us the inside information about, what's his face's name? If he spills the beans, you better be telling us. Because I had a vague feeling that they were going to, in that video, if you go back and watch, I said they're going to be parting ways. But the past couple of days, I'm really being concerned for her because I have a feeling that her life is like she's not safe. You know what I mean? She's not safe. So I'm really a bit concerned. I mean, it's the weirdest thing that she would come into my head. I didn't like her. I mean, I was like, what are you doing with this crazy guy, right? But the past couple of days, I'm actually, it's changing because I really am concerned for her safety. I'm like seriously concerned for her safety. I hope the police have made an offer to her and say, you better give us some news about Barry, or if they, how they do their investigations. I don't know. Wait, Donna Gamble. Hi, everybody from Canada. Hey, Donna. Thank you for joining us. We're just about to close, though. Hi, Jeanette. Okay. Renona says no water for me. Yeah, well, maybe someday, we will be able to do that. Maybe one of these, but then it takes a lot of organization, y'all. Like going on a cruise or something is really fantastic. But, if I'm the one who's going to be organizing it, there's a lot of liability and this and that. I have to cover my base and make sure I get, the insurance and all that stuff. Or I can just say, hey, this particular cruise, let's go 3 days, whoever wants to join, go to this link and this thing and book your tickets, and whoever doesn't want to go, that's fine. I can do that. But then the next question is, how many people are willing to go? Like which time of the year is going to be the best price, and which time of the year is when people are going to be free and able to get away from home and join us, and how many of us have the finances to be able to facilitate that? How expensive is it, and that sort of a thing, so there are a lot of variables over there. Although it's a brilliant idea, I would love to do that, like go on, I don't know, 3-day cruise somewhere, that'll be so much fun. But yeah, but then again, I'm so concerned for her, Texas Patriot. I feel like there's something that's not, battery is exhausted. Okay, my battery is going to give out on me, y'all. I'm going to 10-4 right now because my battery is going to give out on me. Okay, and it's about, yeah, there it goes, 10-4. sorry y'all.